What's up, people? This is your boy Leveled Head. We will be starting here shortly. Give us a little bit more time, and we will be back. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let us know how you feel. Sign off in the live chat. You know what to do. Till then, deuces. What's good, fellas? It's your boy Leveled Head. We getting things on this side together. I see folks already jumping into the live chat. We got Active Gamer Life up in here. We also have, who is this? Damien. What's up, people? Chilling. Happy New Year's, everyone. That's what Active say. Give us a few more minutes, letting everyone get in here, and then we'll be jumping on live. About to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busted. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet I Night all the way in Germany. Leveled Head, you know who that boy is. What it say? Live and level, live and level. We on that MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, what's up, what's up? What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. We are in the building. We are doing this live. What's good, fellas? Make some noise. Let them know you're here.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy King. Okay, I'm done.
Yo, what it do, baby?
What'd you say? You say something?
Sound like you said, what it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
Can y'all hear me pretty good?
Yeah,
I hear you.
Okay, I couldn't hear myself. Yeah. Anyway, if you in the live chat, go ahead and sign off. We got Active Gamer Life. We have Damian up in here. We's almost here, but all right, I'm done. I'm stopped. What's good, people? I'm thinking all
Good,
this
bro.
dog,
Oh,
man.
no, I ain't know that was back at us. My bad. I ain't know it was back at us. No, man. Good, man. Had a good little break. Had to go work for the first time in about a week today, so that was a little meh.
Guess what?
About what up, man?
I'm still off.
Man,
I don't go back until next. I don't go back to next Monday.
Wow.
Ain't
I got
nobody
back
asked you
Thursday.
nothing.
No, I've been off since the 19th.
Yes, dude.
I don't mean I ain't trying to rub it in or anything like that. I just thought y'all might
Really?
wanna know. No, I thought y'all was curious
Really?
about finding out. But go ahead. What's good?
For future reference, we're not curious. Okay. No, it's good, man. Oh yeah, what's up? What's up, baby? Who that?
Oh man, let me. That's my. Hey, by the way, I got some special guests today. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the background saying something. Just think of it's music. It's music. You know what I'm saying? Just music. That's all it
Mine
is.
sleep, so I ain't gonna have to run off too much today. The wife up there, so I'm good.
That's lovely.
That's what you say now.
Man.
Boo boo.
No, I shouldn't have to. I ain't got nothing to worry about. The wife upstairs. I ain't got to run up there, and so Keith got my responsibilities tonight. But yeah, man, the year's about to wrap up. We got what? 2 more days? 1 more day of 2019. 1 more day of 2019,
one more day.
man. And what we gonna do in this podcast, man? We just gonna do a year wrap up. We ain't got anything special to talk about outside of Star Wars. All of us have seen Star Wars. We're gonna talk about that. Hopefully, D2K get the invite and he's able to jump on because I know he was ready to talk about this, but we hadn't seen it. So, but yeah, man, we are here. We're gonna talk about all things. I got something interesting I want to share, but I'm gonna see what cable I'm talking about first. But what's been good your way, man? How was your Christmas, bro?
It was good, man. It was good, man. We had a little annual Christmas Eve party.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we get it popping. Get the family over. We had a good little crowd this time. That's when we got a little rock band on. Play rock band from about 8 p.m. to about midnight with the fam. It was pretty good, pretty fun, good time. Actually had a little surprise for my niece and nephew this year. My nieces and my nephew, my brother kid. My mom wanted to do something special this year, so we're doing a family vacation.
Okay.
And we're not just doing a regular family vacation where you just like go to like Ozark or somewhere small. She wants to do something big, so we're actually as a family going to Hawaii this year. So that'd be pretty dope.
What's up, man? So y'all
Pretty
gonna
excited
spend the
about that.
holidays in another state across the rivers? Okay, the oceans anyway.
4th of July weekend, we'll be heading out. So.
Oh, so no, okay. So y'all doing it in the summer? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be summertime while the kids out of school, the 4th of July. And that's actually that 3rd is my youngest niece. That's her birthday, so we'll be heading out on her birthday. And then the boy, his birthday is the 15th of July, so we'll have a little fun out there.
That's interesting. Our family trying to get a little cruise together for 2021.
Sweet.
But I don't know, man. That's if I try to take my village, I probably wouldn't have a home to come back to. Shoot,
No comment.
Yeah, like man. So, but me and my wife, if everything work out, we might try to go on it. So yeah, we plan a similar thing. So,
Dope.
Keith, what's been good your way, bro?
Sorry, man. I just took a bite of an apple. Everything good, man. Family's good. The kids are healthy. The job is good. I got a raise.
Congratulations, bro.
And I'm looking for more. I'm looking for some more.
Where you at? Where you located? Let me get up there, man.
Hold on. Did you hear me?
Nah. How was your Christmas though?
Oh, it was good.
Okay.
Got a chance to see my nieces. My nieces. I didn't see my nephew.
Okay.
Just being around family. It was good. Nothing too extravagant.
Yeah, same here, man. I know everybody don't do Christmas the same, so I don't want to be, uh, I don't know who do and who don't, So, but yeah, I had a good time, man. But I had an interesting thing happen yesterday. K-Bum know about it, but so I went to Best Buy. Before we get into what you've been gaming on, I went to Best Buy and was out there. Keith, check it out. Was going to renew my Nintendo online service, bro. I figured, hey, it's the holidays. I ain't had it since summer, so I went on and got me a little $20. Yeah, it is trash. I got me a little $20 card to go put on my little account to get my my internet's going back up. So. But I was like, I'm saying, go over there and check out the TVs, a little small. I'm looking, my daughter's room needed a better TV. I had a little makeshift TV in her room, and I'm trying to get my daughters to stay in their room, but they TV ain't as enjoyable as, as daddy's TV up in the front room. And they definitely ain't coming down to the man cave. But that TV downstairs is a DLP, and I needed a bulb for it. So I hadn't got my bulb. It's going to cost about 50 something to $60, and then shipping it was gonna be around probably $70 to get it here. So I walked over there in the TV aisle and looking at these different TVs for their room, and happened to hear a conversation going off between one of the reps at Best Buy and a couple there. So I hear him say, "Hey, I don't know if y'all will be interested," because he was showing them at the time they was looking at that Sony OLED, which is a nice looking TV, K-Bum. I'm pretty sure you know all about that. But
I know a little bit.
And I did some ratings. You gave me that site, and I checked out the ratings. They still rate your OLED a little better than that one. So I don't want your OLED. I might get the Sony just to be there. Anyway, so let me stay on topic. So anyway, so I'm sitting there, and the dude was like, he was showing them off these TV. He said, but I don't know if y'all would be interested, but we have this TV, man. It's a really expensive TV. He said it's about a $900 TV, but we got it for $100. He said, I don't know why it's $100. I don't know what's going on, but they just came in today, and they $100. He said, man, it's a 65-inch 4K HDR TV for $100. He said, "Are you and now there wasn't nobody around. I'm ear hustling like a mug because I heard $100 65-inch 4K. My ears was glued and locked. So I'm listening. I'm like, okay. You trying to? Yeah. They're going to scoot around the corner real quick. I'm keep on looking like I ain't hear nothing. And when you get done talking to them, I'm finna investigate on this $100 4K TV." So he said LG. So that's what perked my ears up, because when he said $100 for K, I was like, it's probably one of them little old cheating nothing TVs. I don't care. And he said it's an LG, and that's what caught my ear, $900 LG. So I was like, oh, okay, hold up, man. So I go over there. He done talking, and the couple wants the TV. They interested, right? So I asked them about this 22-inch TV 1080p they had over there. It didn't have a price on it, so I said, "What's the price of this model right here?" So he scanned it off. You know what I'm saying? It's $59.99. I was like, $59? That ain't bad for 1080p for my baby's room. Okay. I said, what is that about this $100 TV you talking about? What's all that? He said, I'm laughing. He didn't know where to go at first. He was like, huh? What you mean? I was like, yeah, I heard you talking to the couple over there about $100 LG 65-inch. What's that all about? He was puzzled for like a second. He had to gather himself because he wasn't expecting me to ask him. He's like, well, I don't know what's going on, but man, we got a list of these TVs. But this one particular model, man, it's a nice TV. It's a 4K HDR 65-inch LG, man. It's a nice TV, but they only $94.99. I said, you serious? He's like, yeah.
I'll take two.
So I'm like, okay. I said, do you have one on display that I can look at? He's like, that's the thing, we don't. It's an older model. It's about a 3-4-year-old model, but it's still a nice TV. I was like, okay. I said, give me a second. Now I'm in Blockbuster. My 4G ain't moving
Best
that
Buy.
fast. I mean Best Buy. I said Blockbuster. Yeah, my bad. Best Buy. My 4G ain't moving. My 4G ain't moving fast enough for me. So I called K-Bum. I'm like, bro, you ain't got this dude on the phone. Hey, I didn't even say what's up. I said, bro, I need you to look up something. Now, Keith, check this out. He too busy to help your boy out, man. He gonna say, hey, man, what is it? I said, man, I got this. This is LG here for $100. I need you to look this mug up. He's like, man, my phone. I'm using my phone for something else, and I'm on the game. I was like, oh, come on, K-Bum. He's like, yeah, bro, I can't do it right now. I'm occupied. I was like,
I'm watching football and playing 2K.
He couldn't help me. Couldn't help me get this deal solidified. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, man. But my phone clicked in. As soon as I clicked off, my internet popped on, and it pulled the phone, the TV up, and I watched a YouTube video of it, and which I shared with y'all yesterday. So to make a long story short, your boy got that TV, and it's a nice TV. It's an entry level 4K HDR entry level 65-inch LG TV. Now, the interesting thing about it is I got this TV in my room right now. Didn't know it. The one in my room is a 48-inch. It's a different model, but it's the same tech. It's all the same bells and whistles in the TV. It's the same look, but it's a different, what would you say, K-Bum? A different model number or whatever?
Yeah, it's different model.
I don't know all the differences between the two, but it's exact. Everything I can do upstairs, I can do on this TV. It's the exact same look. Yeah, man, I got a 65-inch HDR 4K TV that priced at $1,100. When I looked up the actual price of the TV is $1,100.
And the actual retail price is.
The actual retail price is $1,100, and I got it for $100. Now I'm pretty sure they ain't selling it for $1,100 at the store. They probably about $7 or $8, but I got it for $100, man. I ain't mad. I think I did a good job. What y'all think?
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
So I came home with a smile. It was crazy that the TV that was only 22 inches was almost as much as that TV. So anyway, any other thing before we get on what you've been gaming on? That was
honestly, I don't know why you didn't buy two.
Well, actually, come to find out, he told me he could have been lying. I don't know. He said that was the last one. Now, maybe the other couple got the other one. I don't know. That's why I couldn't do the podcast. That's what killed the cash yesterday, man. I was like, look, I left my wallet at home. I had to run back home. I had to get the Yukon. I had to run back out there. And I had to sign a waiver, bro. I had to sign a waiver because the TV couldn't fit. It's a TV, they don't want you to lay it flat because LG don't like you laying their TVs flat. And we couldn't fit it in standing up. So because it was only $100, it didn't cover delivery. And I wasn't finna pay them to bring the TV to me. So I said, hey, bro, give me that. Signed that up for just $100, bro. Just $100. Signed it off. I said, I can drive slow enough to get home. My wheel's good. So we got it home. Me and my son pulled it out. My wife looking at me crazy. But I said, okay, that's $100. It ain't like the one I did upstairs. It cost us a grip. This $100. Temporary. She said, what you mean temporary? Yeah, it's temporary until I get my OL. But this just temporary. This just get me all used to it. But anyway, so yeah, man, it was pretty cool. Nice looking. It's on right now. It's a really nice looking TV, man. I'm satisfied for $100. I ain't mad at all. So
that's legit.
Anyway, any other thing before we get into this? What you been gaming on?
Oh yeah, I did have one more thing I wanted to add.
Yeah,
real quick. Yeah, I did want to give a shout out. I usually don't do this, but I'll do this. I do want to give a shout out to your boy Levelhead. I was in a play this past weekend. Yeah. And your boy Levelhead actually came through to check a brother out. He was in my city for a brief little minute. Matter of fact, he had just got into the city that's an hour or so before.
No, Drew, not an hour.
Sorry. 15, 20 minutes before.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
He came through to support your boy in my little play this weekend. So I want to get a shout out for Leatherhead being a real friend. I appreciate it.
K-Bone was in there to be or not to be.
Yeah, man. This dude, he played an uncle. He played an uncle. I didn't get to see because, like you said, I pulled in. The play started at 8. Me and the wife pulled in.
No. Black people time, 8:10.
Oh, okay, 8:10. We pulled in. We pulled in at right at like 7:45. I had to get dressed, and then now where he was from where my in-laws stayed, in the Lou, man, he up in a big city, and normally to get to K-Bun spot from my in-laws is like an hour. I'm about 45 minutes. So I'm like, man, I'm finna miss this play, but I'm gonna come anyway because I told him I was coming. But the location of the play was actually 20 minutes away. 18 miles away. So it was gonna take me about a little under 15 minutes to get there. So I was flooring it. Got there. I missed about maybe 15, 20 minutes of the play. He played an uncle. He was like, I don't know if was you like out of prison or something? Was he a gangster or something like that?
No, man, I was just hood. I wasn't gangster.
Yeah, he had a do-rag on with his shorts with the socks on. I'm like, what is this dude got on, man?
Socks and sandals.
So were y'all in California or Chicago? Where was y'all at?
It was pretty much like St.
Okay, it was set in St. Okay. But yeah, man, it was real good, man. The singers y'all had, man, them girls can blow. They can blow. I laughed a few times. And another dude that I met up there, friend of actually K-Bun's friend, but I ended up befriending him, and he was a father in the play. He had me cracking up. It was real good, man. It was a good play. I enjoyed myself. Yeah, I was up in the Lou for our family gift exchange, so we was up that way spending time with the in-laws. So yeah, that was cool. I appreciate that, K-Bun. That's what's up, man.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So with that being said, you know what we do. Let's go. You know what time it is? It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. So, what you been gaming on? Keith, what's going on, bro?
You know what? Every day I've come home, I've looked at my game, and I've said, man, I want to get on that game. And I don't do it. Actually, early when we first got out from work, I did pick up, start playing Horizon again. Couldn't really get all the way into it. It is something I'm going to probably pick up in and start playing it. But really, I've been watching my son play. He's been playing Odyssey. He's 3, and it's hilarious watching him play. Because he sits there and laughs. He was the area where there's like food and soup and all this other stuff. And he knows how to like waggle the controller to get into the enemies and stuff like that. But he died and kept laughing, and I was like looking at the coins drop, and I'm like, man, could have used some coins to buy some clothes or something. But it's just he been playing Luigi. He probably gonna play Luigi's Mansion again tonight, but nothing really. I did finish Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
What you think? What's your thought?
Is that the second or third one? Which one?
That's the third one.
Okay.
I don't understand why she's still becoming the Tomb Raider.
True.
Hey, don't give too much spoilers because I'm playing the first.
Go on, Keith.
No, it's still not better than Rise of the Tomb Raider. But it's still a good game. They pretty much. Is that crying? Hold on. No, it's not. Okay. The second one is better. Just point blank. And there was a lot of similarities because I played a little bit of Uncharted 3, and there was a lot of similarities. Like I know early on, like they went back to Nathan Drake when he was a little boy, and he was in I think he was in the museum, and then they went back to Croft Manor in Shadow. Not no spoilers, anything like that, but they went back there, and I was like, huh, they copying.
Yeah, that's last time I talked about, when I talked about this game, I brought up the fact that it felt very similar to Uncharted 3, and actually it took me out of the way it followed Uncharted 3's formula, not necessarily exactly the same, but similar tropes, similar feels. Like what they did in Rise of the Tomb Raider was so amazing, where they took you, the journey was so just nice. This felt like, I don't know, it's like I don't want to go back to the city. I don't want to go back to these simple places. As you take me to these deep places you took me in Rise, I don't want to go back to this. Like, and Uncharted 2 took you so many different places. To be back in regular settings and in mansions and stuff like that just wasn't fun. And that's what I felt about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It just, I don't know. It just felt like they just threw us a bone. It really wasn't no heart behind the game.
So let me ask a question. Y'all played Uncharted 1, right?
Yes.
Yep.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
You said no?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Was there monsters in that game? I heard there was monsters or something like that in that first game.
It was similar to 2, where like it was like people that it like turned or something like that, or they weren't really human. I don't know, they're monsters, but they weren't really human. Was that the one with the little gimme, whatever, not gimme, but native people, whatever, turned or something like that.
Gotcha.
I didn't finish it. I think I was like maybe 3 hours from beating the game. Maybe an hour or two more, I would have been done. It just was making me sick. I don't know why I was getting motion sickness from it. I couldn't play it.
Uncharted gets me motion sickness too.
That's interesting.
Not 2 didn't do it though. 2 didn't give me motion sickness, but the first one was, man, I was like, dude, you would thought I was drinking. Like, bro, you get off the alcohol, man. Go to A&A, man. Get some help. That's what I was looking like. My eyes was red. I'm watering. You know it's bad when you tear your wife coming in. What you crying about? Man, I've been playing this game, man. It's real emotional.
I'm just playing
story.
the game, baby.
It's a real emotional story, babe. Nah, this mug got me sick. Go ahead, man.
And one more thing, like once I slid Horizon in the game, the controls was like 1-to-1 almost. I was like, oh, this the same controls too?
Yeah.
Like I
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, it was like I didn't really have to relearn the controller. I mean, there's a few things that's different, but I didn't really have to learn too much.
True that.
Yeah. So. Agree with that. All right, anything else?
That's it on my end.
Okay, K-Bon, what you been gaming on, bro?
So I've been gaming on the usual. So Madden. I've been playing 2K a little bit more. A little bit of Overwatch. I have been playing Call of Duty. I got that not too long ago. I think last podcast I said I've been playing that. So I've been playing Call of Duty. It's pretty fast paced, man. You die really quick on this game. They don't play you once you realize you getting shot, you dead. Don't worry about it. Don't shoot back. By the time you realize, I'm getting shot, but it's cool. Like I said, I'm not gonna get excited and say, oh man, this Call of Duty is the best. So every time I do that, 2 weeks later, I'm like, this is the worst Call of Duty ever. I'm sending it back. So I'm not gonna get excited about it, but it's cool for what it is. I like the direction they took it. I think they took it in a good direction by not getting you jetpacks and all the other crazy stuff you can do that they've been doing for the past couple of years to try to make it more realistic, and I appreciate that. Okay. So play that. Still playing Tomb Raider. That's the Stadia game I'm playing. So I'm still playing Tomb Raider. I think I'm about 60%, 60-70% done with that, and so I'll be done with that in a good little minute. And you said Rise is the second one, right?
Yes.
Rise Tomb Raider. Yeah. Because I bought that on the PlayStation, so I'll probably play that on the PlayStation since I already bought that when it was on sale. Either it was on sale or it was on sale for like $5 or $10, and I bought it then. And so I'll
keep talking,
play
man. I'm
that.
gonna be right back. I gotta mute myself for a second.
Oh man, I got something I want to talk about. You might want to jump in, but go ahead. That's cool.
No, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Go on, say what you got. I hear you.
All right, cool.
All right.
Cool. So I played that, and then there's another game that I bought about 3 weeks ago that I have not played. That I just started playing this week, and that's Hellblade.
Okay.
Actually, I bought Hellblade before the whole what was that thing? The Video Game Awards.
Okay.
I bought it before then. I just haven't had a chance to play it because I wanted to play the game for the longest. So I bought it, and then it came out. I'm like, okay, well, that gives me a good incentive to play it now since they already announced a sequel coming out on the Xbox, and what I'm saying, if I really like it, maybe that gives me a incentive to go get an Xbox too. And so you never know, man. You never know. Or PC, whatever. So I've started playing it, and it is a very different game.
Yeah. I got it on Switch.
You got it on Switch?
Don't judge me. I think it was on sale for like $15, and I was like, look, I'll just say, if you playing it on your 4K TV, don't get too close. Just stay away.
Don't get too close.
Enjoy from a distance, because you get too close, you see all the imperfections.
It actually looks pretty nice
On the Switch.
Oh, no, I ain't talking about the Switch. I'm talking about
exactly.
Okay. Exactly.
Step back a few more feet, and you enjoy it.
You enjoy it. Oh, that's funny. So I started playing that, and have you beat it?
What's this again?
No,
what you say you started playing?
I knew you were missing Hellblade.
Oh yeah, I heard you. Okay, I thought I heard.
Okay,
you.
No, I haven't beat it. I actually stopped playing it for a little bit.
Okay,
I don't know where I am.
It's really weird when it first starts off.
Yeah,
you playing it on the Switch?
I am.
You got it for the Switch, K-Bone? Keith, you following Keith lead? K-Bone.
So yes, it's really weird when it first starts off.
Wait a minute, you just gonna skirt past what I just asked, man? I'm not letting you slide with this stuff. Did you get it on the Switch, man? You can't even answer that. The Switch ain't even worth the answer. It's 2019 about to end, man. You can at least give an answer one time.
So on the second level, I get to that part, and it is the reason why I bought it on the PlayStation is that this game is known for its visuals. It is known for its
Sony
visuals.
Pony over here, man. It's Sony Pony.
It is not a Sony Pony. It is known for its visuals. And so I wanted to play.
Man, if you would have got that on the Switch, I would have punched you.
Thank you.
Don't punch me, please.
I punched myself.
No, I mean, Keith, I understand it, but K-Bum got the Pro. He got the OLED. If he would have got that on the Switch, I would have called foul. Like, dude, stop it. You ain't proving nothing today.
Right.
I know you like. I know you're a gamer, but you ain't gotta prove that, man. Come on, get it on the right system. Go ahead though.
Yeah. So it's weird, man. It's different, man. Even the way that it plays very. It doesn't play like a regular. I don't say like a regular video game. That's not fair to say.
You know what that's about, though, don't you?
You say what?
You know what the game is about, don't you?
Yeah, they made it. They made it for like mental illness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, schizophrenia, and like having that thing with the headphones I have and having that surround sound with the headphones on, that's legit. I like that. I really do. I think that's really cool.
So you getting the Xbox then? You getting the Xbox Series X since you're enjoying this game, right? That's what you're gonna do next year, yeah.
So I'm about 20% in the game. I can't say what I like about it, so I'm not jumping that far. But I have played it. I mean, it looks really good. It's very different, and they have the whole system where you can play the game and not get to the end because you the darkness or whatever gets to you, and it can kill your character. before you finish the game, which gives you a very incentive to be careful and try to get things right this time. So,
okay. What else? Anything else?
No, that wraps it all up.
All right. For me, man, I got guilty. I got something to do. I got some things to admit to, man. I haven't been gaming a lot lately, and I felt like I wasn't doing my service as a gamer, and been on this podcast, and the last month I haven't really played anything. So I took it upon myself to at least beat a few games, and I bought a game. I bought 2 games actually. So I bought Mortal Kombat. What is it? Mortal Kombat 11? Is that what it is? I bought it for the Switch. I bought it for the Switch. I will talk about this in a second. But I also bought new Super Lucky Tales for my daughter for Christmas. So she got that. I got Mortal Kombat 11.
On the Switch too?
Yeah, both are on the Switch. Well, they said to buy new Super Lucky Tales over the Super Lucky Tales for the Xbox. He said it was better on the Switch. That's what every review said. The Switch is the best version. So of course, I got it on.
You're probably right about that one.
Yeah, I got it on the best system. The best game on the best system. Anyway, so I'm gonna talk about Mortal Kombat here in a second. But I threw Link's Awakening back in because I hadn't beat it. And I got it.
That game actually looks very nice, man. I like the art style.
It is. It's a cool game. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know how anybody beat this game originally on the NES, man. I mean, on the Game Boy. I don't like this. The last dungeon was so confusing. That's why I put it down. Because I was like, man, I got all the keys. I got up there where you climb up and you got to melt these ice cubes. But I couldn't find, I said, I know I need something to melt I need something to melt this. And I know there's an item that I'm missing. I went up and all through that dungeon that I could locate, and I could not find the keys to get to the places that I needed to get to. So your boy cheated. I watched the walkthrough. I'm being honest. I was like, I can't do it no more, man. I went on. He said, bro, I got Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. It plays good. I'm going to talk about it. I'm talking Dark Sun. Welcome to the show anyway, man. I appreciate your support. It does look terrible. We shall talk about this. But okay. I don't want to lose focus on my cheating here. I felt guilty. Now, typically, I don't feel guilty when I go to the whole walkthrough to get, like, if I'm stuck and I'm tired of being stuck, I watch a small little walkthrough to get me past that part. I've done that before. I don't feel guilty about that. I really watched everything on this one. I was like, once I started, I couldn't quit. I just literally watched this walkthrough to get everything to get this game done. So I don't know if that takes my gaming card away. I don't know, but I cheated. I cheated up a storm. I felt guilty.
We still talking about Zelda?
Yeah, I couldn't. Keith, I had been in that dungeon for a little. I had been made it to that dungeon. This is the turtle dungeon. Been in there for a while. And I'm like, bro, I found every key that I could find. And I was like, man, and come to find out, bro, I was right where I needed to be. I just didn't trigger what I needed to. I didn't jump on the stoop and shoot the eye. That's what I had to do. I had to jump on this platform, which I didn't think I could jump on, because you can't jump on it from the front. You got to walk around to the side, and you can jump on it from the side. And I didn't know that. And I had to shoot the eye, and then once you shoot the eye, the next key that you need drops to go open the door to get to the cliff to swing over to the other side to get the other key to unlock it all. Once I did that, but I just watched the whole thing, man. I cheated to get that game done, but I got to finish the game. So I did that. Now I'm working on finishing Luigi's Mansion. Right now I'm on the weightlifting stage. The dude that do the weightlifting. I'll probably have that finished probably by tomorrow. I'll probably finish that out before the New Year's hit. And so I played that. What else have I played? Oh yeah, yes. Mortal Kombat. Woo! K-Bun, you gonna like me today. It plays. It's fast. I think it's 60 frames per second.
It is 60 frames per second. That is correct.
There's a lot of problems going on here. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the game. I did. The storyline in this game is really dope. It's a good storyline.
The storyline.
The storyline is no, K-Bun, real talk. The story mode is dope. And I'm about
to add.
Mortal Kombat.
I did play Tekken. I did play Tekken this weekend.
Oh, you did play Tekken? All them videos I put up probably got you to watch it. All them Evo videos.
Nah. It's on my it's digital download, so it's just sitting there, and I'm just scrolling through. I'm like, man, I want to play some Tekken. I still got the skills, but anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, I was out buying my daughter Super Lucky's Tales, right? And I also bought Men in Black, the new Men in Black International. I want to talk about that, but I'll talk about that another time. And I saw Mortal Kombat 11 for the Switch for only $19. You know, I'm like, $19? Like, wow, that's a deal. So I was like, I got $20 to drop on this. So I grabbed it too. So I bought new Super Lucky's Tale. I bought Mortal Kombat 11, and I bought Men in Black International. I think that's the name of that movie. So I came home, I threw it in. And everything is looking great. Like the cutscenes look, I'm like, man, people really was dogging this game. Then it went into where you actually fighting. And this where the problem lies. There is a problem from going from the cutscenes to the fighting. And if anybody has played this game, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like the hair on the chin, like they show, you in the story mode, you playing with whomever you got to play with. You start off with Luke Cage and Sonya's daughter. I don't know the girl's name. I can't remember the girl's name. But you start off with her, then you eventually get to Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And Scorpion, the one that's alive, not the dead version of Scorpion, but the one, the alive version. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm so out of tune with Mortal Kombat that that's how I gotta say it. So they showing his face, and he got his mustache just looked literally like somebody took some black paint and took their hands and blotted it on the screen. That's literally how bad it looked.
It was like a Rorschach test, as they call it.
Bro, it looked like, you ever been in a salon after women get their hair done and you see the balls of hair on the floor?
Yeah.
It looked like that, just taped to the side of his face. Now, check it out. It was
Henry Cavill's upper lip and
Justice
League.
Right?
Dude, it looks horrible until it says fight. So while you standing there and it's loading up the scene, once it says fight, it changes. The graphics change. And it looks halfway decent. And I was like, what is going on? Like when it go from the cutscene to you about to fight, everything looks just distorted. Is blurry, is muddy. It's just terrible looking. Then when the announcer says fight, all the graphics come in and it looks 20 times better. And I was like, man, what is wrong with this game? Whoever optimized the game did a poor job in the transitions. The actual fighting part ain't bad looking. It's not PlayStation 4, it's not Xbox One. But bro, I was pleasantly pleased with how it looked on the Switch running when you actually fighting. It's fast. The stages look decent. I would say it looks like maybe a PlayStation 3 version. It looks like that. It don't look bad. at all.
I was gonna say it might be the coding. You know, I don't know how it looks on the. Oh, Lord Jesus, I don't know how it look on the other console, but it could be something similar. It's more noticeable on the Switch. Muting.
I don't know, man. I think the graphics the graphics got to go so low when they go from the cuts, because I'm pretty sure in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version, the graphics ain't hit as hard from the cutscenes to the actual models that you were fighting with, like with the actual in-game. How would you put that, K-Bum? The actual in-game visuals. Are you still here? Everybody gone? Where everybody at? Hold up.
I'm sorry, bro. I was eating,
okay.
bro. I for that.
Yeah, you left me
hanging.
hanging. Anyway,
in-game graphics, good enough.
Okay, so the in-game graphics, I think, when on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, since the CGI or the cutscenes is probably in-game, is using the actual engine, it ain't CGI. I think those models, there's not a lot of distance they have to travel on those two systems. Like, once you go into the actual fighting, it looks just like the models that they're using for the cutscenes. Where on the Switch, they are really downgrading the actual gameplay that you're actually controlling from the models in the cutscene. So when you go from they talking to they about to fight and they in the pose and it's loading up, that scene, that minute transition is terrible looking. And I believe that's where a lot of the visuals that was shown and spread across the internet was coming from, that transition from the cutscene to the fight. And once it says fight, everything, the graphics rev up, the textures is better, the colors are vibrant, it's crisper, everything look like it's in place, and it looks decent. But then when you seen that transition, man, I was like, boy, how did this even get past? How this get past them, man? How they let this go? Like, it's bad looking. Like, it's really bad looking. It's worse than PlayStation 3 in that transition, but it's worse than 7th gen systems. This stuff looks bad, but once it revved back up and all the stuff stabilized, it don't look bad. So, yeah, man, Mortal Kombat is a fun game. It's fast. I would recommend it for the Switch. If you only get it on the Switch, it's worth $19. Huh?
After all that?
Yeah. Like I said, when you actually playing the game, it's not bad. Look, it's only when it's setting up the stage, when they're in their pose and they're about to fight, that stuff looks horrible. But once he says fight, at least in my experience, everything rev up and the resolution go up, the clarity goes up, the hair fixes, the facial expression fixes. Everything comes into focus, but that little minute while you standing there, it's horrible. It looks bad. It looked like somebody messed up on the optimizing of this game. So I would love for you to play it and see what I'm talking about. You might be able to articulate that better than me, but man, but I do think it's worth getting on the Switch if that's the only option. Only way you can, you got to play it. I would definitely say get it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One if you can. I just saw it for $19. I didn't feel like walking through the Xbox and PlayStation sections. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, it might not be right, but I just like the ease of playing it on the Switch. My PlayStation, I ain't feel like uploading. I ain't feel like uploading everything and waiting for 2 or 3 hours. I didn't feel like it. So I just put it on Switch. Anyway, and I play it more. So, but yeah, I beat the game. It was good. I enjoyed it. But there is definitely a problem with the graphics. So that's what I gamed on this week. That was a little long. So anything else before we get into these topics?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Okay, Bum, you can follow me. Just bringing up Henry Cavill, man. The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
We should get into it. Just what you say?
Did y'all hear that since The Witcher has been on Netflix, that the actual
the third one has peaked.
Yes,
on Steam and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Being streamed. Yes.
What's y'all thoughts?
Yeah, Man, it's a wonderful show. There are sometimes chants and stuff like that you got to be, got to keep your mind right. But it's really a good show. It's kind of confusing because they're going back and forth. And you're like, what? I just seen this character, but you just got to stick with it. Henry Cavill does an excellent job as Geralt.
His voice,
See,
man. He worked on that voice.
I had an issue with him at first. Cause all
Why?
I saw was Superman.
I didn't see Superman at all. That's what I liked about it so much. I was like,
I do not see Superman when I see.
I don't see Superman.
Y'all, I need y'all eyes then. Let me
I
borrow
see
y'all
Geralt.
eyes, man, because I see Superman every time I see him. But it is good. Though. Go ahead.
He looks girl. He looks the part. I mean, he's a little bit bigger, but they do a good job with the costume that it doesn't really appear that he's that much bigger.
Yeah, I think they could have did better casting on Yennefer if we're going based on the game. But if it's like the books, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. But Yennefer and Trish, I thought and I think they did Dandelion. The dude who's playing Dandelion is good. I like his character.
Yeah, toss your coin to your Witcher.
Yeah, that's a good song. What is going on in this room?
Thinking that song hard too, though.
Hey, that's a hard song, but it's a good show, and I'm happy they are already talking about season 2 before the show was even out. They was already talking about we gotta do season 2. That's how good this show is, and they talking about Mark Hamill is gonna play, which I think is awesome. I think, but I'm gonna need Mark Hamill not to be Mark Hamill that was in Star Wars. I don't want to see what was that the second one, The Last Jedi. I don't want to see that Mark Hamill. I don't want to see that Mark Hamill.
I agree.
But I would love to see him in. It's really good. Yeah, okay. Anybody who's a fan of The Witcher, even if you're not a fan of The Witcher, honestly, I would just check it out to see.
It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot of backstory that they don't really tell you about. They just roll with it. But yeah, like the first episode to me was everything.
Yeah,
because they got the essence of it's a lot. When you do a video game character, but this is based off the book, but a video game character, but they don't get the essence of the character and they miss it. When they first see the Witcher doing this Witcher thing, the first thing you ever see is doing this Witcher thing, which is killing monsters, and then you get the morally gray choices. Where it's not white, it's not black, it's gray. And you get that the first episode. And The Witcher, the game, is famously known for having these tough, actually morally gray decisions that you have to make. And I love they did that in the first episode. To me, that I'm like, that's everything. The fact that you got the essence of what The Witcher is, and that, no matter what I choose is probably wrong, and he gets forced into make and even in the video game he tries not to make decisions. He tries to get out of it, but he has to because he's a man of action. And I thought they hit that perfect. I was excited.
The wind is howling. You think you learned anything more about The Witcher just watching the show that you probably didn't catch from the game?
Talking about as far as his character?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never played the first two, so I missed a lot of what Geralt was. Geralt. Whoa, I messed that all up. I missed a lot of what he was before, because his character was still changing. I didn't play when he had the memory loss, so I didn't know what that character was.
Yeah, I never played the first. I did play the second one. I thought the second one was pretty cool, but the third one is like when they took it to the next level. A whole nother level. A whole nother level, like the fighting, everything about it, and even the fighting. They what they talked about was like the fighting is like dancing, and if you watch Geralt, he looks like he's dancing while he's fighting, which I think is pretty cool. Versus everybody else. Everybody else is just like swinging a sword, but if you watch him, it's different.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like when you brought up his sword fighting, he is selling that real good, especially when he fought they was in the village, and he was basically
at the market.
Yeah, at the market. And yeah, his sword, he kind of put me in the mind of how Arnold Schwarzenegger was as Conan. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger really sold the sword fighting. Henry Cavill. Is that how you say it? Henry Cavill, I think is how you say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sold that pretty well. I didn't know it was I wouldn't say it looked like he was dancing, but it definitely looked like he knew how to handle that sword. Like if he really didn't know how to, he sold it well. Like after watching Skywalker, them look like a horrible mess. Yes, Henry Cavill did a good job. Yeah. But I don't know. But like y'all played the game. I have the game, but I haven't made it nowhere in the game. So this is pretty much going to be my introduction to this story, to this mythos, to the backdrop. I don't know nothing. So I was so confused when the thing came out the crypt and he was fighting that demon woman or whatever. I don't know if it was a demon woman. I don't know if it was the girl. I don't know what it was. Could y'all please explain what that was that showed
shrieker?
up?
I think it's called a shrieker.
Now, was it created by the cripple
Hold
girl?
on, wait. What episode is this?
This should be like the second or third episode.
I think that was the shrieker. Did it kill the other Witcher?
No, okay.
Not that one.
It was
I'm
the
sorry.
dude. It killed the dude that was tied up to the bed. Was it?
Yeah, that's the shrieker. That's the shrieker.
Okay, K-Bomb, have you got this far or not? Because I don't want to.
I've only seen the first two.
I got to go back. This is 2. Then you ain't seen it because this will be the next episode. Because I got to go back and watch 2. I seen the first episode. I got to watch 2 again. I kind of stepped out and missed half of it. I fell asleep. That's what happened. So anyway, and I watched the third one. And yeah, that was freaky, man. I mean, once you see it, K-Bomb, you're going to know what I'm talking about. It gets freaky. And I didn't know if that was a conjuring of the crippled girl or if that was something else. Could you tell me that, Keith? Is that the crippled girl doing that? Because at the same, K-Bomb, close your ears real quick. At the same time,
Say that again.
the crippled girl is going through the process. You know what I'm talking about, if you that far.
Yeah. That's like the second episode.
Yeah, is the crippled girl, is she the one who created that thing, that shrieker? Or is the shrieker for something else?
I think that's from something else.
Okay.
Nah, well, I ain't gonna say that.
Okay, I gotta watch
Yeah.
it again. That's what confused me. But anyway, all right, cool. All right, so K-Ball, you can come back in, man. I ain't want to ruin nothing for you.
I'm back.
So, anything else? The Witcher is doing good. What y'all think? What should be the next? If Witcher is any testament to what's possible with game adaptations to, I think this is better than going to the movies because you actually get to flesh out the story with more episodes. What other games did y'all think would be a good game to bring?
Hold up.
Cyberpunk.
Hold on now.
What's that?
Let's understand this. This is not just people making a video game or novel movie. These are people who are passionate
Right.
about the same thing Deadpool was. Someone who was passionate about
But
doing the
Deadpool's
character.
trash, though.
Right. Huh?
Deadpool's was trash, though. Okay, how passionate
What?
they were. I thought both Deadpool's was trash.
What?
Yeah, we
You
can
don't
agree
think the
to disagree.
Deadpool's
We-
are trash?
We
No.
can agree
Oh,
to disagree,
man.
sir.
The first one was okay. The second one was
The
boo.
first one was dope.
Yeah, the first one was cool.
It
You gotta
captured
understand, they had a limited
captured
budget.
Deadpool to the fullest.
Yeah,
That
I
is-
give you that. But Deadpool, I never I'm be honest and be transparent. I was never a Deadpool fan anyway. With the runchiness of Deadpool, just get out of I don't care for that. But the Dark Sun Rider, thank you for answering the question, Dark Sun. But the second one to me, the second one was trash, man. I'm sorry. The first one was good. The second one was trash. First one was decent. The second one was trash.
The first one was great. The second one was okay.
I would say the first one was decent. It was passable. I enjoyed what I saw for the
Passable?
most part. It was cool, especially when you compare it to what Marvel is doing. It's decent. It's cool.
It was good.
It's better than
compared
what
against
DC is doing. But
Marvel. That's without a doubt.
okay, it's better than DC. It wasn't Wonder Woman. I would say it was Man of Steel level.
No.
Yes.
Wonder Woman was the first. Wonder Woman was only good for 2/3 of a movie. I keep
The
telling you
end was the only thing about Wonder Woman that was trash was
2/3
the
of a
villain.
movie.
The villain was trash. Everything else in Wonder Woman was cool.
That whole last third of that movie was complete boo boo.
I can't agree with you on that.
Real quick. I do
ahead.
have one, but I gotta go check on these kids.
All right.
I got a good one.
Go ahead.
Oh, y'all want it right now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw it out there, and then I'm gonna step away. I think what makes a good adaptation to a TV show or anything like that is the lore. And one of the greatest games that have lore that doesn't have like a solid story is Metroid. I think Metroid has you look at Metroid Other M, and you got go open the door. You look at Metroid Other M, and you got all of this stuff of how she became the bounty hunter or whatnot. And you got all of this lore. You look at the Metroid Prime games and all this stuff that you can read that I didn't read. But it's all. Let me get him.
You good.
I have another one that'd be good.
Let me hear what you finna say.
If they do it right. I really think that Mass Effect would be really cool if they do it right.
Yeah. I don't like I said that's a game I'm not as familiar with as others, but you do got a well developed storyline that if you got some passionate people behind it that really know like what The Witcher's doing, what to do with the characters. Yeah, I believe that's possible.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi movie. You can do a lot with that. It's a lot of room and a lot of templates out there that you can kind of, model after to do some pretty good show with those characters.
And I was, listening to what Keith said, and D2 won't be able to make it. He's at work, so he won't be able to make it. But Keith said Metroid. I believe that's possible too with the lore and the backdrop and the storyline. Yes, I believe that's possible. My thing is though, I believe what makes The Witcher work is the setting. It's not sci-fi. It's I feel like they're able to sell the settings better than you can with a game like Mass Effect. Because you got to have the sci-fi and the CGI and the special effects got to be right to get that setting right. And that's why I think like movies like Lord of the Rings and the series like Game of Thrones was so good was because the settings wasn't based in nothing futuristic. They can sell that setting and then put more energy in making the dragons look real and make it up because the setting itself didn't require much.
I think when you say much. When you say much, you must be talking about much CGI.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to make Mass Effect work, you got to have a lot of CGI.
Because there's still a lot of CGI in those shots.
Yes, it is. I was going to say that, but the main setting, the background, and what you like, to me, to make a game like Mass Effect work, you're gonna have a lot of green screen stuff going on, a lot of green screen. Whereas in Witcher, you gonna have green screen like with certain like the scene we was talking about with the Screecher. That was definitely a CGI character, and it was probably a lot of green screen going on. But when you get into the village and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure that's just a Hollywood prop that's already just made to look like Witcher, and they don't have to sell it. All they gotta do is put good filtering on the cameras on there to make it look cinematic. And I think a game like Mass Effect with the settings probably gonna be more futuristic, gonna be on spaceships. You got to make that to make it look like a movie, unless you just want to look like a TV episode of Star Trek. I don't think that's what we would want. I want the real legit movie look. That's what I think a lot of these movies work because they look like movies instead of looking like TV shows.
I disagree a little because looking at the Mandalorian, they make that look realistic, and that's also space.
But look. Okay, again, let's look at Mandalorian. The setting though, most of the places he go to, Star Wars settings looks old, with ships. It still has an old aesthetic. It still has a primitive aesthetic. Whereas Mass Effect doesn't have nothing primitive. Everything is futuristic. Everything is high tech. Whereas in Star Wars, everything is primitive with high-tech stuff. So you see primitive creatures, primitive civilizations, but spaceships that fly off. I think, I don't know, I might be stretching I might not be right on it, but that's what I believe. You know, I think a game that'll work, and I would love to get Keith's thoughts on this, is Zelda.
I'm back.
I think Zelda would be dope in this because of the primitive look, the swords and shields, the dungeons and castles, dragons, everything that made Game of Thrones what it was, everything that's making Witcher what it is. And the lore in Zelda is great. I think if you get some passionate people who could do some acting, you don't even have to have Link talk. You can stay true to that.
I don't know about that.
See, man, stop hating on my Nintendo characters, man.
I'm not hating on Nintendo, bro. Like I agree with Metroid. And Metroid is also sci-fi, but that's beyond the point. But I just don't.
Man,
girl, the character of The Witcher is someone that, you know, if you play the game, you really engross and like you see yourself as that person when you play the game. When you see him being represented on the screen, you kind of see a part of yourself also on the screen. You don't have that same relationship with Zelda.
Yeah, you
do. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do, like, I don't have that type of. I forget from my experience, and that's very little.
D2K just said something in the live chat. He said, "Legend of Zelda on the silver screen is what? Long overdue."
Here's the problem I have with Zelda.
Wait a minute, Keith. Okay, you go. Go ahead.
Here's the problem I have with Zelda is what story they gonna tell.
That's my point. It's so good.
honestly, that Zelda story does not connect. Fans are trying to make it connect. Nintendo have backtracked trying to make it connect. What are they going to actually talk about? I mean, they struggle with telling a story within the game itself. Now, like you said, I give what's the one you was just talking about, Link's Awakening? I give that like you said, that's an interesting premise for a story for a video game. Like that was crazy, but.
You don't think okay. Now, of course, Witcher's story is more direct. There's dialogue. There is let me take that back. There's story in Zelda, it just ain't dialogue. You got to read it. Whereas in Witcher, it's dialogue. You hear them talking, just like God of War. You hear them talking. Is a protagonist antagonist that they got to deal with. You have your protagonist. That's all in Zelda. It just has not been vocalized. I think they did a bad job in vocalizing it in Breath of the Wild. Them cutscenes was trash, but it didn't make the story trash. They just didn't execute it great. I feel like if you get some real writers who can take Nintendo's story of Zelda and Link, you might have something. I'm not saying this out of fanboyism. I'm saying this because I genuinely believe it. I think you got one of the best stories and most interesting stories if you get some real writers. Nintendo clearly they need writers. I think they don't invest in actual writers. They got a good story. They just ain't letting nobody flesh it out. But I mean, I ain't saying I'm right. I just believe I am, but I could be absolutely wrong. But I don't think I think you could pull up any one of them titles and have a great story. Especially like Ocarina of Time, great story. Majora's Mask, great story. Standalone story. You can tell that story on its own. The same thing with Link's Awakening. The same thing with Link Between Two Worlds. Them are great stories. To me, great narratives. But I agree with D2K. Even though he ain't here, he talking my language. He says Zelda lore can be just as deep as Star Wars. Again, let me find my claps. There it is. I don't know what to do with my hands, but there it is.
I agree to that, but just I don't trust Nintendo.
No, I don't trust Nintendo. I said that's why I said they got to get writers. I don't trust Nintendo.
I still think compared to the stuff that's already out there, and the way that I think it's easier to adapt. I understand the Witcher is
You sound like R2D2 right now, K-Bon.
First messing up.
Yeah, you like
still messing up?
Keep talking. Say something now.
Yeah, it's still messing up now.
You good now.
Okay. No, I was saying that that's a lot of documented base lore for The Witcher. I mean, it is that soil is rich. Even if you play the Witcher game, Keith, bro. When you meet a person, you go to glossary, and all that you can read about that person, and then in fact they have books inside of the Witcher to read.
K-Bum, are you? That's
you
my
read those books, Keith?
But K-Bum, you acting as if this same situation don't apply to Zelda. Like, bro, there is so much. I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would say it's more of what you just described with Witcher in Zelda. It's more.
I think it's people's take on to what's going on.
No, K-Bum, no.
It is no. But the thing is, it's not always. It's not clearly in the game. It is.
No, it is in the game. It's just not. It's not.
It's not fleshed out like The Witcher is.
No, that's what I was going to say. It's not. The Witcher is put in movie form in the game. It's a movie in the game.
That's not even movie form referring. I mean, just like it presents itself. The information is presented in the way that you can easily grasp and understand. That same is not presented in Zelda.
Yeah, it is, but it's not in the same. That's what I was going to say. Again, Witcher has a movie storyline being told in movie form where you watching a character talk, act out, set, plot, everything. You don't have to search for it. And then when you do go off the beaten path and you find nuggets, you have a central story that's being told to you that you don't also have to read about. Whereas in Zelda, everything that you find, you have to read it. You have to read all the dialogue, all the conversations, every character that's talking. You got to remember and retain all the stuff that they said back and forth. It's there. It's just not in the same easy to get into format that Witcher is. I feel like you really underestimated how much is there with Zelda.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. But go ahead.
I got a question. Okay, so let's just take what D2K just said, and then we take what he said before that. The Zelda lore is there. They said they had to tell their own story with elements of the Zelda universe. Cool. Who is your main character?
Link.
What character is Link? Link
has no character. That's what makes it so good. Link could be any. Well, okay. Well, no. I take that back. Link can't be your main character.
Link cannot be the main character.
Zelda would be your main character.
Okay, I can roll with that. Because
that's who the main character is now.
They've made 30 years of a game, and the character is basically a pawn. He's a shell.
Hold up, y'all gonna hear me, but they won't hear me. Go ahead, I'm mute my mic. Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I love Zelda game. I just if I want to watch it. It's weird because I don't think Nintendo takes it when it comes to gameplay. They take it to the next level all the time. This last Zelda, Breath of the Wild, was incredible. And I can't wait for Breath of the Wild too. But as far as like watching it, I'd rather not. I don't want to watch it. I will watch Metroid. I'll watch Mass Effect. You know what I mean? And I don't even need Shepard in that game. I don't know. Level, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I feel like, okay, I believe all the games that y'all named will work. I believe Mass Effect will definitely work. You just got to get the CGI right. I believe Metroid Prime will work. I mean, Metroid will work. But again, Keith, Metroid Prime has the same problem that I believe Zelda has. Who is Other M? A lot of folks is upset with what they did with her. So I think Nintendo is trying to forget Other M. So who is
It's not the same. It's really not the same with
Okay.
Link.
Okay.
Because I think there's an actual beginning, middle, and end to the. Well, I don't know about the end, but a beginning to how she became to
Right.
be. With Zelda, it's a never-ending story, a never-ending like love story, almost like it's a new Link. It's a new Link. That's what Miyamoto said to try to cover up the fact that they don't have
there
a
you
real
go.
story.
Since it's a never-ending story, and there's always a Link that shows up. I'm reading what D2K said out, and that's what I said. He said, "Let a studio that specializes in fantasy, Nintendo should hand it off to a studio that specializes in fantasy. If you don't have to." None of the. I know we got that. We supposed to be talking about Star Wars, and
I am waiting for that topic now because I'm done with this topic.
Okay,
right, let me finish this. Like you said, Link. Every story is kind of set in its own universe because there's always a new Link. Now, some of the Zeldas are linked together, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And then you got Wind Waker's linked to a few other titles. But for the most part, each Zelda is a stand-on situation. If you do a series, you can have another situation that they create strictly for the series that tells its own story that they some kind of way fit into the mythos and the what's the word I'm looking for? Narrative that is Zelda. Overall, the lore that is Zelda. You could tell a separate story with a new Link that's there for a different reason. That's just strictly for Netflix or for whatever or for the movies. That ain't got nothing that links into all the links, but again, it's his own thing. I believe it's able to be done. Another one is Dark Sun Rider said it was God of War. I think God of War would be a dope one too.
I think God of War would be hard to do.
I think that'd be easy, but
yeah, I think it'd be easy too. You probably get more wrong than right though.
Yeah, I think God of War would be hard. In my opinion, I think.
I think Witcher works. Yeah, go ahead.
That whole Zelda thing, that kind of sounded like a Black Mirror thing. Each episode is its own thing. But honestly, when I was listening to it kind of sounds like Series X. Not just playing.
Well, I was saying like if they did a Netflix series, the Netflix series would be its own standalone story, not taking a story that's already existing, but creating another scenario with another or maybe Gandalf or another situation that they tell that story in that series on Netflix or wherever they did it at. I think it could work. But anyway, let's move on to our topics. We didn't have much anyway. We're just talking about wrapping up this year and Zelda, Star Wars. So let's talk about Star Wars. So, who has seen Star Wars? I'm pretty sure all of us have. We wanted D2K here, but he's in the live chat, so we'll say what he's saying in the chat. Who has seen Star Wars?
I have seen Star Wars and The Mandalorian.
I've seen all the Mandalorians. Yes.
I too, sir, have seen Star Wars and 6 episodes on The Mandalorian.
Oh man, okay. Well, we can't
Disney
talk about.
Look, Disney Plus has a problem.
6.
But we gonna get.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
What am I supposed to watch now?
Is it over?
Gargoyles.
The Mandalorian is done?
Yeah, that's season finale.
8 episodes, yeah.
Oh, that's bull. Okay, that hurts my feelings. I was waiting for episode 9. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this Star Wars, and then we talk about the wrap up of this year. Maybe we did wrap up this year. We just had a good conversation. I don't care. It ain't much we got to talk. Anyway, so what's your thoughts on Star Wars, Keith?
This last episode or the Star Wars as a series?
This last episode. Star Wars, The Rise of the Skywalker.
Well, me and D2K kind of went back and forth, and we kind of agreed on a few things. What is it? J.J. Abrams was handed a Star Wars movie from The Last Jedi that was incomplete and just took the story that he had started with The Force Awakens and just said, you know what, screw all of that. I'm going to reboot this thing and do what I want to do. And in doing that, he had to take this last Star Wars movie, give a middle and an ending and a beginning all at the same time. There was a lot of stuff that we learned that I won't mention just in case anybody hasn't seen it, that we learned in this last episode that I feel like we should have learned in The Last Jedi. We shouldn't have been still trying to figure out the things that we were trying to figure out from The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? It's like, why do we even have this middle movie? You know, I wish they could just retcon the whole thing and just let JJ take over the thing and see if he can do the whole thing over again. But with that being said, I think he did a great job entertaining. There wasn't any of those dull moments that you had from the prequels. There was a lot of dull moments in the prequels, and I didn't
Lord
get
have mercy.
Prequels are
I didn't get
trash.
I didn't get any of that in this last episode, and I know they had to like try to push it and try to like get it going and get the action going and bringing back characters that we love from the originals. And I just think they did a fantastic job. I mean, the last I was going to say stage, but the last place that they were at is kind of questionable. You know, nobody had suits and helmets on, and I thought they were in space, but that's me. I don't know what happened there. I was in space, but you know, apparently there's air in here.
Like I told Level, just roll with it.
Just roll with it.
I had problems
with
with this movie, man. I had some problems. Go ahead.
Of course, you know, Rey, we figured out who she was. Stuff. Very last line of that movie was super corny, but it is what it is. I think they could have. I think there was opportunity to flesh out other characters, which we could see on Disney Plus. Now to a few things that happened in the movie, and that's probably what they told JJ to do. Like, hey, you got to get because we want to branch off and build this Disney Plus thing.
But they already said though that none of like Rey, Finn, Poe have already come out and said that they haven't been asked to do anything with Disney Plus.
We know. We'll see it. Hey, well, there's money to be made.
Okay. I feel you.
Let me say what D2K said, and he hitting on something. The way this movie wrapped.
I don't know if you say that.
Okay. Well, I
don't think you should say that.
D2K, they said I can't say what you said, man. I can't say what you said.
It's a spoiler.
It is.
That's a spoiler.
But it's true though. It is
very true.
It's true.
It's very true.
So if y'all want to know what he said, if you don't want to hurt your feelings, read the live chat at an hour and 34 into this podcast. All right, so Keith, you said J.J. Abrams did what he could do. He did his best. You enjoyed for what he had to work with. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Pretty much.
All right, K-Bum, what's your thoughts, bro?
I will not be that nice. So this movie had to do a lot. It had, for one thing, it has that third movie syndrome where it has to wrap up a story that's been told. It has to appease one of the worst fan bases out there.
I thought there was
Star Wars
Cowboys.
Other than Cowboys, the Star Wars is probably the worst fan base alive. They're worse than Trekkies. They hate everything.
Well, Trekkies, they lost right now. They started off good and they reboot and they got lost. I think in the second one they got lost.
Yeah, they got lost along the way. Yeah. So it had to do a lot. It had a lot of pressure on itself. And I think, and I know JJ came back for this one. He had to take what Ryan did, which was complete. It was I wouldn't say it was polarizing. It wasn't polarizing. The majority of people did not like The Last Jedi. Just did not like the direction he was taking it, and so JJ had to take the ship and try to take it back straight. And I understand that he did the best he could, but there were too many, as D2K actually stated this a long time ago, there were too many hands and too many cooks in the kitchen with this one. I actually read the article saying that it was Kathleen Kennedy's idea of that big reveal to bring back, or not, you can say that to bring back Palpatine.
Oh, that's a revealer. That's a revealer, K. Well, you can't do that.
No. It says it in the it's in the trailers.
Oh, okay. Right.
That piece is in the trailers.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they showed him and they showed him laughing. That piece is in the trailers. That's not a
spoiler.
No, that's not a spoiler.
Okay.
He was in the trailer.
Yo, hey, I'm gonna jump in right quick. These kids won't let me be great. Spill some stuff in this room. Everybody have a happy new year. Because I got to get off here and clean up and stuff. But hopefully we can have a great 2020. And I'll be seeing y'all, man.
All right, then, Keith.
All right.
So
Go. Okay.
yeah,
Keith had to
no,
go.
he was in the trailers.
Okay.
So that's not anything. That's not a reveal. But it was Kathleen Kennedy idea. It wasn't anything that was started off from the beginning. It wasn't from episode 7, right? That the whole thing was going to be, that was where they were going with it. It was just pop up in this one, and there was a lot of things like you said before, and that should have been popped up that did not come up till late, and so this movie felt very disconnected. I felt very disconnected from any other movies watching this movie, and a lot of things they did in this movie. To me, a lot of the
You
emotional
read what
pieces in this
D2K
movie.
said.
What do you say?
What Kathleen Kennedy and is it Rain Johnson?
Yeah, Rain Johnson
did to the Star Wars was booty flakes.
I ain't my word, booty flakes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, D2K. I appreciate it, man. Booty flakes. So it felt disconnected, man. And the issue with me for this movie was that a lot of pieces that there was supposed to be an emotional connection to. Like there were times where you were supposed to be, when everyone on the screen is really happy and excited and celebrating, and then there were times in the scene when everyone's sad or devastated or whatever. I didn't connect to any of those emotional attachments. It all felt fake. I did not have any connection to it, and that really made the movie fall flat to me. Is that I didn't have a connection to any of those moments that they're having. It's just blah. And so this movie as a whole has some really cool moments, and it has some real Star Wars-esque moments in it. But there's so many places in this movie that it just falls flat. And my wife, who is a much bigger Star Wars fan than I am, she is such a Star Wars fan that she stays home and watches all the Star Wars movies on May the 4th. She is that kind of Star Wars person. She did not enjoy this movie. She had issues with it. The dialogue was just, well, I don't know what
It
the
was
dialogue was terrible.
Nothing connected. Nothing.
I mean,
yeah.
It wasn't as bad as the dialogue in some of the prequels, because that dialogue was the Anakin and what was her name? Is Anakin the girl?
Padme. Yeah.
They had terrible chemistry and terrible dialogue.
Yeah, bro. She was showing sensual, like they was showing attraction when when Anakin was number like 8, 9 years old, bro. It was a problem anyway. Yeah.
Pedophile type stuff.
Yeah,
but
it was
anyway.
weird. Like seeing them. I was like, bro. Anyway, I explain when you're done.
Okay. So it's just I don't know. I went in with expectations being low. I said, you know what? If I put them low, that gives the movie room and space to improve upon. And I pretty much stayed in that same spot the entire movie. For reference, I thought The Force Awakens was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I had a blast. I know it was just a retelling of A New Hope. I am perfectly fine with that. I enjoyed the movie. I thought Kylo Ren was a good new character. I love the voice and his mask. Cool. I am a person who did not like The Last Jedi. I thought it did not make sense. A lot of stuff that they did in that movie was stupid. I didn't understand why they try to make seem that everyone has the power to be a Jedi, and I still don't know why all the Jedis killed themselves. Still don't know that. I don't get that. But in this movie, I think this movie is still better than The Last Jedi, but to me, not better than Force Awakens. And to me, Rogue One is better than all of them. And nobody is as bad as Solo. So that's kind of how I rank all of those.
Okay. So in preparation for seeing this movie, and I agree with basically all you said, K-Bun, but I think I got an idea of what went wrong, and I want to read what D2K said. He said they did such a terrible job developing characters in this trilogy that when it came time for us to care, we didn't, and that's kind of where I'm going.
True.
What I did in preparation for going to see this movie was I got Disney Plus. I'm like, hey, why not just watch this movie in the chronological order that we supposed to watch it in? So I started with the prequels. What was the first prequel? Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And I went through all that up to the original Star Wars, and I stopped there. I didn't even watch the two first in this trilogy. And I'm going to say something. I feel like this movie was an accident because of what happened before it, and I believe this trilogy was an accident because of the prequels before it. What happened was, if you go back and watching them in order, you see where George Lucas messed up. The original Star Wars were simple stories. It was simple. You when you meet Luke, when you meet Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they telling the story, it's all simple to Luke running into his sister, what's her name? Luke and what's Luke's name? Leia. Running into Leia, saving her off the ship, meeting Han Solo, meeting all the characters. It was simple story. And then when he come back, he goes and he meets Yoda. Everything is just simple. It has more of a serious tone to it, better acting going on, but everything is simple. I don't really think George Lucas knew what he had in the original three, and that's why it worked, because it was simple. It was a lot of stuff there, but it was put in a simple form. Then when you jump to the prequels, it's like he fell in the trap of the lore and the mythos of Star Wars and tried to make Star Wars live up to the hype that the fan base had about Star Wars, and all the years between what he made originally to the prequels. Star Wars turned into something else.
Yeah, they understand also about that time, he had already written books.
Yeah.
There were many books already written about Star Wars. Like I said, you're right. The mythos was already there.
Yeah, and it got so expansive and so deep, and that he tried to do. That's when it became a soap opera that we didn't want, and it took us places that we didn't want to go. Things happened that we didn't understand. And all of us say we didn't like them outside of. We did like the fact of finding out how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, the Anakin story.
Oh man, spoiler.
Well, there ain't no spoiler. They should know that by now. But anyway, we liked all that, but the poor acting, the poor storytelling, everything that happened in the prequels is the problem with what's going on now. What do you do with all the stuff that took place in the prequels, and you coming back to this storyline? What do you do? To me, they should have took notes from the originals and kept it a little bit more simpler. But I think they tried to blend the two, and you just got confusion, because the original, the prequels is confusing. When you follow, it's just stupid. It don't make any sense. And then the prequels make sense all the way through, and then the new series, the new trilogy, makes no sense again. And then we get to the end, and the dude trying to make sense of the original three with this trilogy of nonsense with these characters that ain't been fully fleshed out, like D2K saying, these characters that ain't been fully fleshed out, ain't been fully developed. Why they are what they are hasn't been explained or been poorly explained. Now you got to bring them up to this powerful level like Luke. You got to see Luke gradually become Luke. You saw Luke in the original. You saw him get better in the second one. But it made sense. He training with Yoda. He training. You see the training, and he goes off because of his fear and the turmoil in him. He goes off to face off against Darth Vader because he had been trained up to that point. He felt like he was ready. He loses, finds out that that's his father. Then you come back. He's still with Yoda being trained. So that's 2 movies of training. Whereas in this series, Rey didn't start getting trained into this movie. She got trained by Luke. She got trained by Luke. He tried to train her. Huh?
Slightly, but yeah.
Slightly. You read what I'm saying? It was slight. It didn't work out. She left, remember? She didn't stay with him. He dies. So now
No, he kills himself.
Well, I ain't saying technically. I'm just saying he in the movie he dies.
I said right because it irritates me.
Okay, I got you. He dies.
It irritates me.
He kills himself. He commits some type
Jedi
of suicide.
Jedi suicide.
Then, so who's gonna train? Who's gonna train Rey? Now she didn't get good training in that movie. I can't tell no spoilers.
Can't really say too much because it's spoilers. Yeah.
Then we come back to this movie, and it leaves you with more questions. Like, well, when did that? Well, who? How? What? You all these hows, wins, whys, and what's come up, and it's just more confusing because what D2K said. They did such a terrible job of developing these characters that when you get to the conclusion, they gotta make Rey something formidable. They gotta make Kylo Ren something formidable. But the way that they did it, since they did such a poor job, it didn't make sense for them to be what they were. And then I end on this, man. I was telling you when I was leaving the theater, this movie bothered me in a whole bunch of ways. You could have easily made all this make sense had Rey just been a powerful person in the first movie and just could not control her powers. And everybody trying to wonder where she got this power from. That to me would have been a better plot than you meet Rey, she's nothing, she has nothing, she don't look like nothing. Then all of a sudden, like they tried to tell Luke's story basically again. That's what they tried to do with Rey. They tried to make her a female Luke, but it didn't work because they rushed it. You didn't see the gradual process as you saw with Luke with Rey. What I would have did with Rey, if this was going to be the conclusion, which we know this probably wasn't. We know that you shared something with me before that makes me understand why that probably wouldn't be fair. But seeing the conclusion, what I was saying, I'll see you, D2K. I'm gonna read what you just said, and Damien, I see what you said. Had Rey just been a powerful person that didn't know how to control it, and they discovered this girl with this power, and she has force manipulation, and she don't know how to control it, but she could do these crazy things that's never been seen by any other Jedi or any person they know of. But it has this familiarity that they know of that makes them question where she getting this from. To me, that would have been a better story, seeing this movie now. So, at the end of the day, it was a hot mess. The movie is, if you want to just detach yourself from the lore and just watch a very action-packed movie, is here. The action is great. I fell asleep a couple of times, I'll be honest. But the story is all over the place. This has some real issues. I tried to enjoy it, but the story just took me out of it. There were just things that was happening with little to no explanation of how that can happen. It's like I don't want to spoil it, but I can name so many things like, how was she able to do that? Well, how was they able to do that? Well, when did she learn how to do that? Or when did he learn how to do that? Well, how is he tapping into this? And what's going on here? So now everybody got the Holy Spirit, I guess. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what's going on in this movie.
No, you're right, bro. It really reminded me of the end of Game of Thrones. And how you spent all this time in Game of Thrones building up these characters, building up this plot, building up this invasion, building up this conflict, and then you solve it in like three episodes. You did all that time, and you solve it in 3 episodes. And to me, it felt like that in Star Wars. You did all this time. Building this relationship, building this tension, and then you just go about it so quickly, and you go from this point to this point to this point. To me, it felt like they had somewhere to be, and so every different thing you saw just had to get here at this point. Here at this point. and you didn't have you couldn't enjoy anything. I feel, everything just even when you meet new characters, it just feels so rushed. It just felt rushed to me, even when you met the new characters.
Right.
And so I don't know. It's just I want people to be objective on their own. I want people to go in. That's why Level. I didn't tell you what I thought. Remember you asked.
You
me,
did,
I told
you
nope. Because I don't want people to go in or change people's minds, and they go in with the mindset, oh, this is what came on, this was Level. I want people to go in and say, you might enjoy it, and then give yourself a chance to. And that's how I did with the movie. I heard some bad things about it, but I had a buddy who called me before I went and said he enjoyed it. And so, I said,
it's not that it's not enjoyable, but you really have to detach yourself from what makes sense in the story if you have any understanding of how Star Wars works and the storyline, then this movie is going to be frustrating because everything we've seen, even with Anakin's development, there was even as poorly as it was told in its prequels. You saw Anakin develop to that. He didn't become that. He slowly got there. Whereas with Rey, by the end of the first one, she was there. She was already wielding a lightsaber. She was doing with no training. She fought Kylo Ren with no training. And somewhat best him. No training at all. This is before she met Luke. So that's why I didn't like the second one at all. The first one was all right because it was we thought we was being reintroduced to Star Wars done right. The first one was okay. I ain't gonna say I loved it or hated it. I didn't like the second one of this trilogy. I didn't like that one at all. It was a snore fest. I went to the movies up in the Lou with my brother, and I fell asleep 5, 6, 7 times. Good minutes through that movie. I don't remember. I had to wait till I had to buy the movie to really see it. But this movie, and I see what y'all saying, Darren, and I want to say some of what you're saying, but I feel like if I say too much of what you're saying, it's gonna reveal too much. But Damien said this that I want to read. He was saying that Disney should have stuck with where is it at? The issue is the last 3 is Disney moved too far from George's vision. He said something about they should have stuck to the
it was the twins.
Yeah. Where is that at? Let me see.
That Han and Leia had twins. One was a girl, one was a.
He said something, but yeah. Basically, he said they should have stuck to the story. They got too away from the story. He said the original story was twin boys for Han, and then Luke had a daughter. I didn't know that. That's a first for me. So, and that's what that would make sense that Rey was Luke's daughter. That would make sense. But we y'all gotta watch the movie to find out. Y'all gotta find out who it. So, D2K said that the story was like playing whack-a-mole. I agree with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I can't read that, D2K. Your last statement. I can't read that. Let me see. Damon said it doesn't feel like a continuation to the original movies. Right. There you go.
It does. It feels like a departure.
It departs.
Like a continuation of the story.
And I believe the reason why is because of those prequels. The prequels is what caused it to depart. Because
the prequels felt more of a continuation story than this did.
Well, the prequels made to me what the prequels did, and I'm not watching it in chronological order.
Yeah.
The prequels helped me understand some of the stuff, some of the verbiage that Obi-Wan Kenobi was saying to Luke about his father and all that. Like to see it play out,
right?
To watch all the prequels and then see them movies afterwards, I was like, oh, that's dope. And it made the movies fit in, but the movies did too much to the story. Added so much convolution. They convoluted the story so much that I believe when when Disney took over with these movies, I think they drew, because it felt like to me, Star Wars and the prequels was kid movies, especially the original ones. Phantom Menace felt like this was something for 9-year-olds. Like Jar Jar Binks was. I didn't realize how horrible he was. I didn't realize how childish the movie was.
Me so terrible.
So the second one got a little bit more darker and a little bit more serious. And then the third one was definitely serious. Bad acting, bad dialogue between Padme and Anakin. The Anakin turning over to the dark side made no sense. Why he was so angry made no sense.
But you were the chosen one.
Yeah, it was just stupid. Like, why is this? Why is Anakin so mad? What has happened to Anakin for him to be this upset? That's what I was trying. Like, this dude is mad for no reason. Like, he just mad. So then his mom getting killed sends him off. He goes and when he does what he does, and to save his family, he goes to the dark side. That made no sense to me. Palpatine getting him to go bad in the prequels was terrible. They should have,
but not from a Jedi. My favorite line. I'm randomly saying lines from the movie. Go ahead, man. Bother me.
He was tricked, but it was poorly executed. It was just bad. It was poorly executed. Watching them was like, dang, this is bad. I did like Samuel L. Jackson's character. Was he more powerful than Yoda?
No, he was second as far as power.
Well, when he fought Palpatine, man, he to me he beat him. Anyway, but to me, these movies, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the people that was writing the movies really were not Star Wars fans. They couldn't have been. They couldn't have been Star Wars fans. Or they were trying to do their own thing and thought they could do better. I don't know, but it ended up, to me, they hurt what possibly could have been a good series, a good trilogy of movies. They hurt them by rushing Rey's powers, by abusing the Force, by stepping out of what the Force is and doing things with the Force that you've seen in none of the prequels and none of the originals. This movie did stuff that even the ones before it didn't do. This movie did some stuff, man. So in the end, if you just want an action-packed movie with bangs and explosions, it's there. You will enjoy that. But if you want a story that makes sense, that brings some type of closure to the Star Wars universe, this is not the movie to go see. This will make you mad. It will leave you scratching your head. It will leave you confused, and you will leave out with more questions. Like, we need more movies to explain what we just saw. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So I just read an article today saying that one of the writers actually was talking, and he was saying that they really wanted to, well, not the people in charge, but the people, some of the writers there, really wanted to do an episode, a part 1 and part 2. To episode 9. They didn't want to make it one movie because that's a lot they had to tell. But they said that, that part, like a part 1, part 2, like they did with Infinity War, was never in the books. That was never an option to do something like that.
I'm gonna read this. I don't think this spoils it. D2K said something that's funny to me. He said Palpatine was a quote unquote, in case of emergency, break open glass. Basically, Palpatine was brought back to say these movies. But
yeah.
No, like I said, you understand. I hear you said this is a movie about the Skywalkers. I don't know about that no more, man. Not after watching this one.
Well, it's supposed to be, but yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, but how this movie went, that's under question now. Like, this wasn't a story about them. So anyway, without spoiling anymore, if y'all get a chance to get out there to see Star Wars, Rise of the Skywalker, that tells you all you need to know right there in the name. The name make sense now. The end line was stupid. I agree with Keith. That was the dumbest thing ever. It was an insult to. Now, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. That's why I had to go back and watch it in in chronological order. 'Cause
Chronological.
I don't know the lure like that, but seeing it being fresh and up to date, this is an insult. This is an insult of the highest order. What they did, especially the last line.
To
The
the first
last
order?
line, to all of it. The last line is an insult to anybody that's been a fan of the Skywalkers and the Jedi and all that. That last line is gonna be like, what? Are you serious? Like, dude, that's that's
bro.
horrible, boy. That was horrible. So anyway, let's move off from that. Let's talk about this year real quick, and then
I did want to add one more game. I forgot. I've been gaming on all different games, man. Your brother's
okay.
been exploring different games, man. So can't nobody talk bad about me, unlike y'all. But I did actually get a chance to. I played some. Oh crap! What is that game called? Apex. Apex Legends.
Oh, okay.
I got a chance to play a little bit of that. I had some buddies that wanted to play that again. So me and some buddies played some Apex Legends. That was pretty cool. Had fun doing that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That on the PlayStation, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we spent 2 hours talking. So let's hit these last two. Probably should have been on this topic more than anything, but hey, I feel like we had a good podcast so far. 2019 is about to wrap up, man.
Yep.
Just give me your thoughts of this year. What stood out to you in gaming? What was low points in this year? Just give me your thoughts on this year, man. How has 2019 been for you as a gamer?
For me as a gamer, so 2019 has been pretty good, man. I welcome the streaming aspect that's coming into gaming now. That everyone's hopping on the bandwagon to try to bring games and play them differently than what we played them before. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. I think gaming this year, as being a PlayStation fan, has been pretty good. Haven't had any, real killer. God of War wasn't this year. Was God of War this year?
No, God of War was last year.
Last year. Sorry. So we haven't had really, great killer first party games this year. But just in the whole, as a whole, I've enjoyed gaming this year. Like I said, the biggest win for me this year, as far as gaming, I think has been the introduction of streaming and being able to play games differently. The PlayStation Plus, Remote Play. They introduced this year. They introduced it to be on your phone, so now you can pop it open and play on your phone. So I've also done that a little bit as well, playing my PlayStation from my phone, playing it from my laptop, and also the Stadia. So I think that's been really cool for this year. So that's one of my ups for this year as far as gaming. One of my downs is really the watching and seeing the downfall of Xbox. It's just, to me, that's been a real downer for me, is watching Xbox just trip over themselves repeatedly. It's pretty sad because they made PlayStation have to step up as generation because they got off the blocks pretty fast, and kind of took the market that PlayStation held so dear, as they took a lot of the games PlayStation had as well. And so it kind of had to make Sony kind of step out of their box and kind of do some things as well. I'm not saying that the Wii didn't, but the Wii kind of has their own little lane that they play.
What?
So I'm talking about last generation.
Oh, okay.
The Wii.
I'll make sure I heard you right. Okay, got you.
Yeah, last generation. I was referring to last generation, how Xbox made PlayStation kind of step out of the comfort zone. And the Wii kind of has their own lane, so I don't think they kind of made PlayStation step out because they kind of have their own lane. They kind of do things their way, but they definitely had an influence on PlayStation. But I think the biggest is Xbox because they're usually fighting for the same exact demographic when it comes to the people who's going to buy the system. And so it just sucks just watching them just continue to fumble and just have terrible press conference and have terrible first party games and watch games get canceled and watch games flop. It's just, and then, systems not sell. It sucks, because competition is good. I said the same thing when Nintendo wasn't doing well. I wanted to see them do well. Competition is good. I say the same thing about Xbox because they make PlayStation have to step up. So I appreciate. I think competition is good. Everyone should have a chance to play the games that the way they want to play it. They shouldn't have to be restricted to just one way of playing video games. And so that's probably been the biggest downer this year is just watching this, just Xbox just fall all over themselves and them become the laughing stock of gaming. It's pretty much what they've become, become this year. And now they're the lowest selling console this generation now. I think the Switch passed them up.
Do
right?
you believe that this year? I would say, as far as Xbox, that's been the narrative for them probably last year and a half too, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been more than just this year. But it's just they there's some games that's supposed to come out this year that was supposed to kind of get them back. And
I got you.
It's supposed to be a redemption year. That's what they remember. I think 2018 they had the really good press conference, right? That was 2018. The E3. They showed a lot of games and they showed a lot of stuff going for them, and they were supposed to bounce back, and they just, because I believe that's when they showed the. Yeah, no, it was a good press conference. It was 2018, but then this year it's just nothing. It's been pretty bad. So that's kind of my downer for this year. I guess as far as most enjoyable, what game have I enjoyed the most this year? I don't know.
This has been a low year for games, in my opinion. You saw that even with the Game Awards, that there was not a lot. There was a lot of games, but I ain't gonna say there was a lot to this year that really, oh my God, blew me away. This is not one of them years. So I wouldn't blame. I wouldn't fault you if you couldn't name something that stood out to you that literally was introduced this year. I won't fault you for that.
And introduced this year?
Yeah, like if you probably been playing games, but I bet you them games didn't come out this year. Them games probably been out on your system. Like when you name what you've been gaming on, you say Overwatch. I don't even think you say 2K, Madden.
Well, yeah.
What about you got the new Madden or the older? Madden?
Yeah, it's new Madden, Madden, new 2K. But it's I mean it's not like it's blown away from the year before.
Yeah, this year was kind of, to me. You ain't done, go ahead and finish. I don't want to stop.
No. I was trying to think of a game that I say that I enjoyed this year, and I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I know I finished The Witcher this year. Not Witcher. I didn't finish God of War this year. It was last year. Well, yeah,
that's last year. That's like God of War is last year.
Yeah, I finished it. I finished it last year. Yeah. Yeah. Crap. I thought
this year ain't been, like I said. That's all. Like, this is thinking about it now that we at this topic. I would be honest. This year started off very slow to me, especially being a Nintendo more leaning. Most of the games majority of the games I buy is most gonna probably be on the Nintendo Switch. Now it ain't that I don't buy games for the PlayStation or Xbox. I still got to get that God of War 5. I saw it for $24.99. I might get that maybe sometime next year. But I don't know. I might get it this weekend. I don't know. There has not been a lot to be overly braggish about that came out this year. Not in my opinion. Now, there are games that I highly enjoyed this year. Like I said, Luigi's Mansion. I'm enjoying that game. I need to finish it, but I enjoy Luigi's Mansion. Great game. Also, Link's Awakening.
Apex Legends was this year. Okay, Apex Legends.
Okay. Link's Awakening, another good game that I enjoyed that came out on the Switch. Astro Chain is a good game that I need to finish that as well. All these games I would put in the good category, not necessarily. I would say Luigi's Mansion. It's a high good. It's Yeah, I would put Luigi Mansion. It ain't great, but it's a very enjoyable game. Same with Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is not great, but it's a very enjoyable game. Astral Chain, I won't say it's great, but it's a very enjoyable game. A lot of good games. I ain't mad. I'm enjoying it, but that it came for Nintendo Switch. Them games started hitting mid to the end of summer on. It's been pretty cool. But at the top of the year, it was pretty dry, in my opinion. And this year hasn't been, to me, the greatest year for gaming. I think it was just a steady year. I think it was definitely for the PlayStation and the Xbox. You knew they was wrapping things up. Do I feel like they needed to or had to? Maybe because the systems have been out five or 6 years, yeah. But actually, no. I think they can still get a little bit more out of these systems without needing a new system, but that's me. But you could tell that they was pretty much done with those platforms this year. You kind of felt that this year was it. The offerings on those two platforms just wasn't there. And Nintendo, you could tell that they're gearing up for next year to offset new systems from the competition. It seems like Nintendo pretty much saving their marbles for next year. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see stuff about Bayonetta 3 and stuff about the new Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 and probably some on Metroid Prime 4. All that's going to hit next year. So this year, to me, was kind of just a get by year. I don't know if you felt like that or not. 2019 felt like a get by year. I think
you're right, bro. Because I've only rented 4 games from GameFly this year.
Okay.
And that's Mario Tennis Aces, Marvel Alliance, Hellblade, and then Call of Duty. That's the only games I've rented this year from GameFly. Huh. Mm-hmm. So it was. I guess I've been playing back games then. I've been taking care of my back catalog and playing those games.
Damien, when you say MS2, what is that? You explain that to me. I'm listening to you, but I just want to make sure I understand what he's saying. Top five selling games on Switch are MS games. What's that? Explain that to me. I'm not gathering what you're saying. But go ahead and finish what you're saying, K-Bon.
No, that's about it, man. I'm just looking at my catalog has been dry this year. I did buy Spider-Man this year, but I still haven't.
Hey, but that's not from this year either. And
I know. It's last year. I know. I bought it this year.
Okay.
I still haven't even played.
Haven't even broke it open. Yeah, I bought.
I mean, I downloaded.
You sent me Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been playing that. But I was playing that. I enjoy that. But again, that's not from this year. And I also went out and bought The Witcher for the PlayStation. I mean, Witcher 3 for the PlayStation.
So I did play Anthem for a little bit, the demo, but that was trash. Okay. I didn't even finish that game.
So this year has been, like I said, Microsoft. Yeah, a lot, yeah. Microsoft has had some of the best games on the Switch this year too. But I don't know, man. This year, like I said, it had some good games, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay. I didn't feel like I missed anything. I don't feel like this was a downer. I just don't feel like this year, when I look back over it, I mean, I like Luigi's Mansion, but I won't here sit up here and act like Luigi's Mansion is Breath of the Wild or Odyssey or anything on that magnitude. I can't do that. But it is a good game, and it's definitely worth buying. I'm enjoying it. It ain't God of War 4. It ain't one of those games, man. So I feel like this was just one of those years. Well, there you go, D2K. 2019 for Sony was whole serve. Is that what you say? Whole serve?
Yeah.
I feel like all three was doing that.
Days Gone came out this year. Control came out this year.
True.
Those two, but then Division came out this year, but that was trash too.
Yeah, So he said, DJ said, for Microsoft, it was, we lost eighth gen. Let's get ready for ninth. I agree with that. That's what, yeah. For both Sony and Microsoft, it seemed like to say, Sony's like, we done. We did all we could do. We got this year. Let's move. Let's get ready for the next. Microsoft is like, we lost this year. Let's get ready for the next. Nintendo is like, hey, bro, save all our guns for next year because we don't, because they finna come with new systems. So we need titles, we need our major titles to offset those new systems. That's what I felt this year was. Just hold serve, like you said. So I'm looking. So 2019 was all right. It was cool. It wasn't nothing bad, but it wasn't nothing great. I don't know what you would say to that, K-Bum. What you have to say on that?
No, I agree with you. I'm going back and refreshing my memory of some of the games came out, and a lot of these games that actually did come out that were supposed to be pretty good. I didn't even play this year, which is like Sekiro, that Shadows Die Twice, and Control.
You didn't play Control? You didn't?
No. I thought the Control looked trash to me from the beginning. I never understood the hype behind Control. I thought when I first time I saw it, I thought it looked like trash.
Now, what's the other one you named? That's the samurai game that basically is basically a Demon Souls.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, yeah.
Yep.
See, and that's what I was going to get that game until I found out that it was a Dark Souls like game, and I was like, nah, I'm not up for that. I ain't up for dying a whole lot. It's not fun to me.
I mean, no, go ahead. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to cut you off.
No. What I was going to say, like, you saw me stuck in the dungeon in
right.
Link's Awakening, so dying a whole lot ain't enjoyable to me. You giving me misery ain't fun, but I like a challenge. I don't like misery. But go ahead.
I have the new Need for Speed game I haven't played yet. I got that downloaded. I haven't played that up. The Star Wars game that came out and haven't played that yet. Outer Worlds is pretty much a remake of Fallout. A different version of Fallout came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then
but none of them games was
Borderlands 3 came out this year.
But they tried to hack them games up. I know that they tried to push Outer Lands. Is that what it is? Outer World?
Outer Wilds.
Is it Outer Wilds or World?
Outer World. Sorry, Outer World.
Yeah, I thought it was Outer World. They tried to paint Outer Worlds as, like you said, as an alternative to Fallout. Yeah. But again, I think they was, because it wasn't much. They were just trying to, like, Control got hyped up a lot, but we saw what it did. It fizzed out just as fast as the announcement of it came out. It was fizz. It was a flat soda. There's somebody left open. You didn't want it no more, and it felt like that's what this year was. A lot of get these games out for Sony and Microsoft. Is like, get all this stuff out, third party. Get what you can get out. Get what you can get on these platforms, because we finna move. And it seemed like they clearing some stuff that they've been working on, but the real stuff is coming this year. Whatever, especially Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo saved all their stuff for this year. With the rumors of the new systems coming in 2020, panning out to be true. I guess we can move on to what our expectation for 2020. I believe we finna be draw drop this year. I feel like all three platforms. Yes, I do. I feel like Nintendo is finna show us some stuff that we've been waiting to see since the beginning, the first introduction of the Switch, or the first year of the Switch. Like, we haven't seen anything on Bayonetta 3. And I believe we're going to see something probably at the top of the year. We going to hear more about Metroid Prime 4. And I believe we're going to hear more about that Breath of the Wild 2 that they released at E3. We're going to hear more about that. Because they got to, because I don't perceive, well, do I believe Nintendo going to come with a new system, a new Switch? Possibly, a more powerful Switch, possibly. But I wouldn't hold my breath on it. I believe they're going to try to do it with titles. And come next year, after Sony and Microsoft, because Sony and Microsoft gonna own the holiday with their systems, and the only thing Nintendo can do to offset that or to compete is have strong IP there, have strong titles that people just will not ignore, like a Breath of the Wild 2. I don't care what Sony and Microsoft have there, people ain't going to ignore Breath of the Wild 2. But it'd be foolish to put a new system out alongside those two systems. Just let them have the system and you have IPs there. So I believe Nintendo is going to come with, like they did the first year of the Switch, with some major IPs to keep your attention on the Switch in lieu of and in light of both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. So yeah, I believe Nintendo gonna drop, going to please their fan base with those dominant IPs. I believe Sony and Microsoft is gonna wow with the new systems. So I believe everybody gonna win in 2020. I believe everybody gonna be satisfied because you're getting Sony, you're getting the new system. Microsoft, you're getting the new system with new graphics, something new to explore, new interfaces, all that stuff. I believe it's gonna be exciting for all of us as gamers, and I believe Nintendo is going to supply their fan base with those titles that they want. With Breath of the Wild and with probably Bayonetta and maybe even Metroid Prime 4, like a trinity up in here. I don't know, but that's what I believe. But go ahead.
So, yeah, okay. I'm trying to touch on that. That's a lot. I don't know about Wild, man. I do know. I agree with some of your points, man. They have been holding back, and Nintendo's been holding back. They want to wow us because they have to fight with those new consoles coming out. I agree with that, but I don't. I kind of think we're going to be, because right now the consoles are being hyped, and I think they're being hyped to a point where there's a lot of room for letdown. What makes me think of that is Stadia. Stadia was hyped to be this new next killer, and the initial reports of it was a big flat blah. For many, a failure. They've definitely stepped up their game since then. I definitely think it's a viable system. I enjoy it. I would definitely continue to spend my money for Stadia. But it was definitely a letdown from when it came out the gate. And part of that was because of the hype that it received. And I really feel that these consoles may suffer a very similar fate. Especially when they're saying stuff like, "Hey,"
Say it again, when they say stuff like what?
8K.
Oh, okay.
And we're not even doing 4K 60 frames per second consistently. Matter of fact, we're barely doing 1080p 60 frames per second consistently, and they're already throwing around words like 8K. So I'm going to say I kind of think it's going to be the opposite effect. Okay. I'm gonna go off a limb and say that I think once we actually get these consoles in hand and we actually see them in action, because I'm really listening to that Digital Foundry report of the new Hellblade game. I'm kind of more reserved than what I was at first. I was gun ho, like, yeah, that's in game, yeah, that's how it's gonna look, and I'm a little bit more reserved based off of their review of it. Yeah, analysis of it. I think that's a better word. Analysis of it. I still hope that the games will look like that, because that's a promising, the jump that they are promising us, that makes it worthwhile. But I think these first little games may be more mad than more wow. Okay. I feel that's kind of the direction I'm taking with that.
I'm gonna say I see where you come from. I'm gonna see what D2K said. I agree that we have to keep our expectation in check. I think at best we should expect these new consoles to give us what they promised us 2 generations ago. Okay, I feel that. What I mean is, that's why I didn't really go into games being the reason for the excitement. I'm saying systems. I believe maybe not you, K-Bum. You might not trip out because the games is what gonna do it for you. But I think Stadia is not the right gauge because Stadia doesn't have the IPs. Stadia is giving you the ability to stream what you already have currently on your Xbox or your PlayStation. So the library games you can get on your PlayStation right now. That's what Stadia is giving you. They ain't giving you nothing exclusive that's only available on Stadia. They don't have a killer app IP that's only for Stadia that shows off Stadia. They just giving you another way to play what you already can play. Whereas Sony and Microsoft is going to have Halo running on their beast of a system. You finna see Halo try to take advantage of all those bells and whistles that this new system can do. And it's going to be exclusive to Microsoft. A new Halo, a new world. I'm pretty sure for a second, Christmas in the holiday, Microsoft fans gonna be excited for their new Series X 12 gigaflops of processing power under their TV. On their 4K TV, they ain't gonna realize the truth or the lie or whatever until maybe months later that the reality of what can these systems actually do will hit. But that initial purchase is gonna be some excitement because you got a new Halo. I'm pretty sure Sony is gonna come with, if Sony is smart, you would come with a game like, to me, I would have pushed Last of Us to the PlayStation 5. Right. I don't know what they're gonna do it because I think Last of Us comes out top of the year if I'm not wrong. Like
it does.
February, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so to me, I would have made Last of Us 2. I'm gonna be real with you. I would have made it either a cross-gen game, which they probably gonna do anyway. But if you're gonna do that, push that game all the way back like Nintendo did, and don't release it on the PlayStation 4. Release it on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 at the exact same time, with the graphics on the PlayStation 5 being butter ridiculous. That's what I would have did, but they ain't doing that. So I have to assume that Sony has a game that's going to come out, maybe a new entry into Uncharted or maybe some other IP that we don't know about that they've been sitting on, like a Soulcom or a Siphon Filter or whatever. A game, a killer app, you know, like they did Killzone. I hope they don't do Killzone, another Killzone type that just show off the graphics but ain't a fun game. But it's gonna please the Sony fan base and basically get them into buying that new system. That's what it's gonna do. And they're gonna be excited. They're gonna be happy. Because initially it's about the graphics for most of these folks. What can these systems do visually, graphically, not necessarily how great the game is. That's what it is for the first few months. And then you want actual great games. Now you show me these tech demos. Give me a great game with these tech demos. So I see that being the situation with those two platforms. And I believe Nintendo's only thing they can do to please and keep they name out there and they, at that season, because there's going to be new systems out here, is to have their top-notch IPs, they big IPs standing up against, just like they did with Breath of the Wild and all this stuff, to put those games out there and to let their IPs offset new consoles or new hardware. And I believe at the end of the day, everybody be satisfied. So I don't have necessarily, I'm not jumping through hoops for 2020, but I believe 2020 is going to be a interesting, and at the end of the year, a good year, especially because there's new hardware coming out, man. I don't care what nobody say. New hardware is always fun. I don't care. The smell of new, the smell of new on that holiday, when you open it up on Christmas, or you go and you buy it and you open that box up, it makes that year special. You got a new PlayStation. You got a new Xbox. You got a new Nintendo 3 years ago. That was special. So to me, 2020 gonna be special strictly off of that. That's how I feel about it.
I roll with you on that, man.
Okay. All right. Anything else? D2K says Stadia is a hamburger with no toppings. Yes, it is.
I can't argue. Even though I like Stadia, I can't argue against that because those features that they announced that said was coming to it still ain't here, and it won't be coming to sometime first quarter. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. They barely got a bun for this burger.
Right. So and I think that's what's hurting Stadia. Had Stadia to me, and we can end here. And I think this is where being novice in gaming, and Sony did this too with the PlayStation. But what helped Sony was they got third party to bring games over to the PlayStation, and made them exclusive. Like when you got Square to bring over Final Fantasy to the PlayStation platform and it's exclusive, that helps when you get Tekken and all those. But Sony didn't have their own game, but they did have a game like Crash Bandicoot to sell the system. If they didn't make it, but you only can play that there. Whereas Stadia doesn't have any game that you can only play on Stadia. They was pitching Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That was the game they was showcasing. That game had been already showcased on Xbox and PlayStation. That ain't exciting me because you can stream, unless you saying the 4K aspects might have been, man, you could stream in 4K 60 frames, but who got a setup that can actually reach that? Anybody with any common sense would know your setup probably ain't finna get you 4K 60 frames. Your Wi-Fi connection or even your landline ain't finna get that too quick. So 1080p ain't attractive when you got an Xbox One X and a PlayStation Pro that's giving you equivalent offerings. You already got that game. So I think Stadia just, to me, came out at the wrong time, be honest with you. They should have waited till they had a killer app that was exclusive for their system, or either paid one of these third parties to make an exclusive game for their system, or went and bought a game that was in obscurity, hadn't been out like Nintendo did with Breath of with Bayonetta and some of these, and paid them to put it on their system. Like maybe get what's that game that they was working on for Microsoft?
Scalebound.
Was that it? Not Hellbound. Scalebound.
I said Scalebound.
You said Scalebound. I thought you said Hellbound. Yeah, Scalebound. Like get that, pay for it, and have it exclusive for Stadia. That would have been something to. And I think D2K made that statement before. I don't want to take credit for something I think he said. But yeah, man, that to me that would have been the better move for them.
Now they do have their own
studios.
They Stadia does. They do have their own studios, so that will come. But your point is not that they have their own studios, but they should have waited until they have something out already.
Right? Yeah, they should have waited till those studios that they had was ready for exclusive content.
Right.
And there was no reason to rush. Because you killed what? Okay, I don't want to keep this going too much. I don't want to get to 3 hours. But what you killed was the momentum and the excitement that you had around your draw. Is the streaming, right? That's the draw. You don't need the box. You don't need all this stuff. The entry price is way cheaper than you're gonna have to pay for the PlayStation and the Xbox. 100 and something bones ain't bad to get 1080p 60 frames per second streaming. But you killed your draw because now when you come with the game, the exclusive game, the draw is that you killed the draw. The draw is your streaming tech. Your streaming capabilities was your draw, but you put it out there with nothing to draw anybody to your great situation.
The thing is, I think they still thought I think they believe they still have another chance to do that, and that's with when they release it for free next year.
Okay.
They still have another chance to capture that audience and get that drawback because they're going to have Stadia for free next year, where you can just you don't have to pay for the Stadia Pro. You can just pay for the games and then play the games on Stadia.
But you don't think that the narrative has already been
botched stuff changes when you release something for free.
Okay. Because I'm
point in case, there was a game called what was this game called? Let me not use that game because I can't remember the name. But I can't remember that name either. It was a sword fight. It was a sword fighting game that I played. That came out like 2 years ago. It came out.
System?
The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. War or something like that. Something War.
Shadow of War.
Anyway.
Shadow.
No, I don't think that's good.
Is it more? Is it dealing with Lord of the Rings?
No. Like, you only use this one character and you fight like a head-to-head combat type of fighting with another person.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
But anyway, it was, it cost them $59 and whatever. And what happened was they made it free to play.
Okay.
And the usage of this game shot up because it became free to play.
Right.
Same thing with the game. I forget the name of that game, but you were a monster hunter. So what the game worked is that there's 5 people that plays the game. 4 people are monster hunters, and the 5th person is the. And you had For Honor. Thank you, Dark Sun Rising. Someone's paying attention. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. For Honor was that game. They did the same thing with this game that was. Again,
you're talking about the Ubisoft game.
Yeah, Ubisoft game. Yeah, you were a monster hunter, and they dropped it free on like Steam or something like that, and it went from having a handful of people to having thousands of people now play the game. It still ended up dying, but for it was a bad game. Freak can only do so much. But For Honor
died anyway. Oh, go ahead, though.
Yeah, but For Honor is still alive because of that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that when you drop something free, that it can rejuvenate and get new life. So that's why I'm thinking that they're believing that once they drop it for free next year, that they can kind of excuse me, they can recapture some of that they lost, that momentum they lost.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. With Sony and Microsoft with their new systems having all the commotion and noise, the attention, Stadia is gonna have to do some real, like I said, only thing that's why I said Nintendo is gonna use IPs to bring attention back their way. I don't believe Stadia is gonna have the games ready to bring attention their way, even for being free. Yeah, you're going to get some people that's going to be interested, but I think they still going to be like, I'm going to buy, I tried that out for free, but I'm still going to buy that Xbox. I'm still going to buy that PlayStation. And,
right.
And then it sit on it, and then it just be an app that they ain't using. And it's for free, but if ain't nobody on there using it, then it's pointless. So I don't know, man. Stadia's in a weird place. Google just did not. I think Google had a good thing and still has a good thing, but them being novice in this space and probably trying to treat this like they treat they casual, the folks that follow them. You can't treat the gaming space like that. I think Nintendo learned their lesson. I think Microsoft learned their lesson, and I think Sony learned their lesson with the Wii, with Kinect, and when you get into that market, you got to stay in those folks' faces to keep their attention, or you just move on to the next thing. And gamers, you got Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo has spent decades building with gamers and building a reputation, a relationship that Google just don't have with them. And I believe that's going to be the difference maker. Out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. And when you're dealing with blue ocean type gamers that ain't really gamers, that's who gonna be more geared towards trying out Stadia. Or I believe that's who they trying to get. They can't be trying to get hardcore gamers because you don't have the games. It just ain't a stable situation for hardcore gamers. So, I ain't no hardcore gamer. I'm just a gamer. I don't think I'm a hardcore gamer. But a person like
Right.
I feel like I put you in a hardcore gamer category. And you got Stadia, but I don't think are you running to it a whole lot?
I play it. I was for a moment. I was playing it every day.
The
Every day
initial excitement wore off. Now you back to
No, it wasn't initial excitement. I wasn't excited. I was excited first, and then that. But it was the fact of I got into Tomb Raider, and I enjoyed it.
Okay, yeah.
So
you
it was
could have easily played Tomb Raider somewhere else though if you wanted to.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna play Rise on my PlayStation because I've already bought it.
Right. And so that's my concern. But anyway.
Tomb Raider, I got Tomb Raider for free too. So if they keep releasing good free games, I'll play Stadia because of the free games.
Okay, well that makes sense. But I might try out the free version. But man, honestly, dude, I'm trying to contemplate on which one of these systems I'm gonna be looking to pick up between the PlayStation and the Xbox. That's where my focus is gonna be, and what Nintendo coming with. Stadia is kind of not even on my radar right now. I'll be honest with you. And I feel like that's pretty much what most is feeling. Stadia just ain't on nobody's radar right now.
But I think once people actually try Stadia and have a good experience, I think that can change people's mindsets.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I really think it's a really good experience. I think it was overblown. Actually, it wasn't overblown. It didn't work. So let's change that. It did not work. So let's not say it was overblown.
I think they should have took a similar approach to Nintendo. Like, they tried to push this as a computer with Sony and Microsoft. Google should have went, look, man, this is for on the go people. You on the go and you want a good experience. They kind of should have went at Nintendo. Like, they should not have tried to compete with Microsoft and Sony, cause you gotta experience it to understand and to believe it. Whereas Sony and Microsoft can display their stuff, I believe, easier than Stadia can. If that making any kind of sense. Like, to me, Google was pushing their system as a high-end. This is a high-end system.
Right.
Whereas they should have been pushing this as, we can give you the on-the-go gaming, and with the power that the Stadia has, it would have competed. It would have been an attractive thing for folks who are into the Switch.
Yeah, but I think Stadia only works on Wi-Fi though.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't believe it works over.
So it ain't a great on-the-go situation.
Exactly.
Okay, you make sense. All right. Well, anyway, man.
As a matter of fact, and it's only for Pixel phone, Google phones right now.
That's
the only
true.
people that could take it on the go is Google phones, so they couldn't even market it as that.
Yeah, it's a lot. They working with a lot over there. They got to work around. So anyway, man, 2019, bro, it's wrapping up. What you got planned for going into the holidays, man? What you planning on doing?
I think my church has a New Year's Eve watch night, so we'll probably be doing that. If not, my brother's birthday is the 2nd of January, and I think we got some stuff planned for the 1st. So I think I'll be kicking it with him on New Year's Day.
That's what's up. That's the same with me, man. We do a watch night service, so I'll be with the family at the church, bringing in the New Year's like we have always done it, giving the Lord some glory and some praise, and being thankful for Him allowing us to see another year. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with my family, and then hey, enjoying the rest of this time off until next week. And so yeah, man. If I don't hear from you between now and then, which I know I will. Man, have a great New Year's Eve and New Year's, man. Happy New Year's, man.
Most deaf to you too, bro.
Yeah. And all you guys listening, man, all the ones that was on here, those who jumped in the comment section, we had Active Gamer Life, we had Dark Sun Rider, we had Damien up in here, we had, who else was up in here?
D2K.
D2K all up in the comment section. Keith was on here live with us. Who else? If I missed you guys, I apologize. All the rest that tuned in. Man, we wish y'all a happy new year, man. Bring the new year in right. Don't do anything that causes you not to make it over to the new year. Man, be safe. Hey, man, be cognizant. Hey, bro, a lot of folks end up, doing something silly and New Year's Eve be the last day they see. Like, bro, they made it right on the cusp of a new year, didn't make it over. But yeah, man, be safe. Enjoy the day. Be wise and enjoy the day. Just be wise, man, and cautious. Don't be foolish. But and we will see y'all on the flip side of 2020, man. I'm expecting great things to take place in gaming in 2020. The movies are already lining up. And we probably going to, like y'all saw today, we spent a lot talking about movies and TV shows. That just show you that we do more than game, man. So we might even move away from just talking about games. Give us an opportunity to talk about stuff beyond gaming. Like, we like movies. We like a lot of different things. So you might see a lot more that some podcasts we might not even talk about a video game. We might just focus on movies. So we're going to do what we want to do on this podcast because we just enjoy it. That's what it is, man. We do what we want to do, man. We ain't like every other podcast. We ain't trying to be super detailed and talk about, we just ain't like that. We just casually talk about stuff that we like talking about. It don't matter what it is. So that's what we're going to continue to do that next year. So y'all be blessed and we will see y'all. Till then, K-Bomb, you got anything to say?
Deuces.
Peace.